What is up, everyone? Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the NoLife. Oh, let me unpin you. Welcome to the NoLife Digital Podcast. How is everyone doing this fine evening? We are back from our winter vacation, our winter break. We were gone for quite some time, but we are back in action. We were gone for, let's see how long. 3 weeks now? I think it was like 3 weeks, right? Gone for 3 weeks. We are in the new year. I already uploaded a couple of videos. This year, I'm planning to spend a lot more time on this channel, curating it. This podcast is going to look a little bit different by next week. I haven't had the chance to change things up a little bit, but it's going to look a lot better. It already sounds a lot better. I got my new microphone array, and we're coming in crispy clear. And I just want to, I just love tech. So I'm going to start just writing more on it. I've been doing like an article a night, some smaller ones, some larger ones, and then I uploaded a couple of videos. I have a couple other videos in the can ready to get up there. I just need to edit them down and throw them up there, but I do want to curate this channel a little bit more, take some extra care to it, and promote it a little bit so we can get some more of you visitors and more of you listeners to tune in. So what's up, Jerry? How was your winter vacation?
Yeah, it was fine. Mostly, it was nice not doing anything for a couple of weeks, and now I'm basically back in the grinder. So you know how it goes.
Yep. I was supposed to start working again last week, but Kate took that week off, so I was like, I'll take another week off.
Yeah,
I'm relaxed. It was so nice to just relax, even though the first week of Christmas break was hectic for me. But every other week after,
it
was
always
nice.
is.
Yeah.
Pre-Christmas time, especially dealing with families, and it's just like, oh yeah, this is fun.
Yeah, just driving everywhere, traffic, mayhem.
But yeah, no.
Did you guys get any snow?
Yeah,
for Christmas.
For Christmas, a tiny bit, not a huge amount.
You're lucky.
It's been a pretty dry year, oddly.
Yeah, you're lucky. It actually just started snowing today, just a little bit, but it's been kind of weirdly warm, which kind of sucks. But I always like it when it snows right before Christmas, and then on Christmas you have a little snow, and then it gets warm. Right now it's kind of just like, no snow. It's still kind of warm, and it was fucking freezing cold today.
It's always in between rain and sleet and freezing rain.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, just give me some snow.
Global warming, dude.
Nothing.
We're all gonna fucking die.
But we're gonna go out in a blaze of glory with tech products.
So I got a funny story. For Christmas, Kate's mother got me like this. It's supposed to be like a fanny pack, but it ended up looking more like a purse. And like we got her the Google Home Hub, so she could do her recipes and stuff and watch YouTube while she's cooking. Awesome gift. And then we gave that to her, and then she was like, all right, Wayne, here you are. And I opened it up, and I'm like, oh, thank you. And then you hear Kate and her sister, and they're like, why did you get him a purse? And she felt so bad. But it was so funny because just if you're planning on getting, someone told her that people are wearing fanny packs and wearing these sort of satchel devices. No, they're not. If someone's going to get a fanny pack or a satchel, they're going to go and get the one that they want. Don't get them a purse, because that's what it's going to end up looking like. But she felt bad, so she took it back, and she's going to, give me something else. So I was just like, you don't have to do anything like that.
Yeah, but just throw a lens in it or something.
Well, that's what she was like, you can carry your camera and stuff in. I was like, it's a little too small for my camera, because it's like that big.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Hey, just throw all your batteries in it and then attach it to your backpack, I guess.
Yeah, but it's a thought that counts. Well, it's hard because she got me a nice wallet last Christmas, and it's hard to one up that wallet. So she's either gonna have to spend some extra cash to get me something to one up it, or she have to be a little bit more creative.
Yeah, mine just my significant other's parents, they just like, last year was a bunch of whiskey shit, and this year it's a bunch of Red Wings shit.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah. She's like, what is his likes? Expensive computers, sports, and whiskey.
Oh, okay, so I think whiskey.
Yeah, so I think it's just gonna change every year. Of like, oh, here's some new whiskey stones and this and that, and then the next year, oh, here's some Red Wing stuff because we're not gonna buy you a computer.
Yeah, exactly. And then yeah, that was pretty much it. Me and Kate, we didn't get each other gifts because we bought a new couch for the house, which was kind of expensive. If you're shopping for a couch, you don't want to don't go to IKEA and get a couch. We did that whole thing. They suck. Don't go to Craigslist and get a couch. They suck.
You can get some from IKEA, but yeah, most suck.
Some of them are okay, but the cushions, you want to get a nice couch. You know,
yeah.
You're going to sit on it a lot. You're going to take naps on it. You want a nice one, like you would spend on a bed.
That's what I was going to say. It's like the problem is the ones that are nice at IKEA, it's going to be the same price.
Right. Yeah. So we ordered a couch. But the thing that I didn't know is that it takes like a month to get a couch. Like they make couches. You don't just, it's not like IKEA where you just pick one up and they put it in a box and send it to you. Like they actually make the couch. Then they have to send someone over to install the couch into your house. So we're like, all right,
honestly,
we'll do that.
There's somewhere someone could break through. Just be the Casper of couches.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah. Like just make one generic $1,000, one $500 couch.
Yeah.
Or like a $500 love seat double couch, whatever.
Or like a modular system.
Yeah.
You can add on to it. But dude, that's a great idea.
Make it comfy, good quality. There you go.
That would
be a killer market.
That's a great idea because like I said, it's a month. It's a month at the minimum to get like a nice. If you go to a furniture store, like we went to West Elm and got our couch, and that's just the standard. You're gonna wait a month before you get your couch. And guess what? My couch sucks cock right now, and I want to fucking sit down and play, Red Dead on a nice couch. I don't want to have to sit on this piece of shit anymore. But nonetheless, we got one, and I'm so excited for it to come in. What day is it? It's the 9th. Fuck, I still have like a whole month to go. God damn it. Just counting down the days for this new couch to come in. All right, so it's CES time. We are coming back on CES, and there's a bunch of stuff that we're going to talk about. There's a bunch of cool stuff, a bunch of not so cool stuff. All right, in your opinion, from what we've seen so far, is this the last day, or is tomorrow the last day? Oh, he's leaving. So, in my opinion, CES this year was kind of, I don't know. I just didn't see too much stuff that is reminiscent of CES. Usually you get some like really innovative things. You get a bunch of weird prototypes. We saw some of that. But nothing really kind of like hit me in the face. Like, damn, this is something that's going to change the tech world. And it's just like, I don't know. I felt like this year's CES was just a little bit lacking. We really just saw like upgrades to a bunch of other stuff. You know what I mean? It really wasn't much like new things, which was kind of upsetting. And a lot of stuff had like assistant features in it, which I'm just like, I don't care about assistant features. I have a home hub. You know what I mean?
No, that was a lot of, I mean, that's usually what CES kind of is though. It's either it's the actual products, at least that get released at CES or CES, is usually just like, here's something new, cool, kind of what you expect. And then the rest of it, which is all the cool, crazy shit, is just science experiments.
Yeah. Yep.
There wasn't a lot of those, yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of the science experiments. A lot of just iterative tech upgrades, which is cool. I mean, we do have a lot of stuff that I'm excited about, but nothing that was just like, this is groundbreaking, except there was a laundry folding machine that you could buy.
And that's been around. Yeah.
Yeah, I want one so bad.
Yeah, the thing that just folds your laundry for you, which is like the most upper class thing ever. That's just like, yes, I still want it though, because
right next to the dryer, you just drop. Once you're done, you just toss it in there. Just
I don't want to hire. I don't want to hire like a servant because that feels too bad. But I'll make a robot for it.
Yeah, that's the type of tech that I've been interested in. You can tell I'm getting older. But all right. One video that I do want to recommend before we get into some of the products at the show is it's an interview with Leo Laporte and a couple other guys on Twit, and they talk about why you shouldn't go to CES, and it's pretty funny. Where is it though? Here it is. It's a pretty funny little video. Yes. Go check it out. But they basically say like, there's really no point in going unless you work for like a tech journalist company. You know what I mean? Unless you are a tech journalist is just so big, and you're not going to, it takes so long to get interviews with anything. It takes so long to demo any products. You're really only going to see like 1% of the show. So just like do what we're doing, talk about all the, congregate all of the products that you see on all your tech journalist sites, and then you could just see it that way. It's just the best way to consume it. Don't go to CES. It's just not worth it.
Like also like a lot of the cool stuff that I want to see at CES. Like I want to see all the cool science experiments, but I got The Verge for that because that's the only thing they're good at. Is like they'll go find the stupid weird hover skateboard one-armed thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like the rest of it's like I want to see all the cool computer cases.
Right.
I'm not going to Vegas to see all the computer cases though. Like real talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just listen to the show, really. Listen to this podcast. I'm sure there's a ton of other podcasts and shows where they talk about all this stuff in one go, and then you can just get a gist of it.
Yeah, and like that is like it is. I've been to shows like that before. It is impossible to see everything. And that's like the really it's because it's so big, but there's so much going on, and that's like why I think a lot of people like us have started going to the shows, making shows and stuff like that. You can actually find out a lot more of what's actually happening at the show by curating it.
Right.
And like if you actually want to see everything that happened at the show, that's like the only way to do it. Because when you actually go to the show, it is too much.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially for one person.
Yep. Exactly. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. If you want to watch something a little funny, I mean, I love Twit. It's always a good time. So go check that little video out. Also, I got 2 new products in that I do want to talk about: the Shure SM7B, as you can see here, and my new Massdrop Alt mechanical keyboard, which I did a review on the channel.
I think it's hilarious you bought one.
Oh, dude,
I knew you would, though. I tried to talk you out of it for like 6 months, but I knew you would.
Once I saw that it was in a 65% version, I was like, I'm getting it.
60. Yeah, no, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic keyboard. I just think for people who are willing to go for a different price point, it is possible to get the Alt. That's just my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Like without all the blink, but the Alt itself it seems sick.
Yeah. I think the White Fox is the only other board with hot swappable switches where you don't need to solder anything.
Not even close.
Oh, really?
That's what I've tried to tell you for 6 months. Yeah, no. And you go like that's what you can go get. It's monkey board, something like that. It's called Monkey something. There's like boards with hot swappable switches for like $40.
Do you need to build them though?
No.
Oh, they're already made?
Yeah. All the hot swappable switches is a non-PCB switch. And when you're going and actually making a keyboard, because I like to do that sometimes, and I've always been really interested in building mechanical keyboards.
Yeah, I'm going to build one next. I'm going to build a
You can buy, when you go to buy switches, you either buy a PCB mounted switch or a plate mounted switch. And all the hot swap stuff, it's just plate mounted switches. So that is the cool thing though about plate mounted switches and like the Alt and stuff like that. You can go to like kbdfans.com or like Chinese websites. You can get you can get like 92 switches for like $30, not even, and try them out and switch to whatever you want.
Wait, so how do they connect to each other? Through the PCB?
Well, the plate mounted, it has the diodes and it just goes onto a plate and kind of sockets in. With the PCB, it has 2 extra prongs that actually go through the PCB and you solder those in.
Interesting. Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
So there's no PCB on a plate mounted.
No, there's still a PCB. It's just how it connects to the PCB.
Oh, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah. Like it is still making contact with the PCB, but it's just like it's like on the hot swap. You know how you have like those little contact points? Yeah. It's just the contact points touching each other to the plate.
Yeah.
And then that's doing the communication. Where PCB mounted, it's 2 ends that go through the PCB and you solder to.
Yeah, but you still need a plate for a PCB mounted switch. Yeah. I mean, it's essentially just essentially just the PCB. Some of them I guess they can offer. You could just swap them out because there's just like just attached to it through the metal. There's just like a little metal tab that goes through it, or you can solder them on.
The two like fundamentally they're not that different. between like the new plate mounted idea and PCB mounted. They're not really that different. It's just how that connection's made that's different.
Yeah. Yeah, this one is essentially a 65 board, and you're getting a solid aluminum.
Yeah, it's a sick board. The hard part of the reason why that board costs so much is it is a fucking gorgeous case and like good plate design and quality.
Yeah, it's really nice quality. There's literally no rattle to it whatsoever. The switches are they're locked in there. Aluminum. It's got like some whack RGB to it, but it's kind of customizable. But the cool thing about it is that it has a pass-through USB-C. There's 2 of them on it. So you can essentially hook it up and then hook up, a charging dock onto the other one if you wanted, which is pretty dope.
No, that is cool. Because I'm happy more are starting to do that, but like even it's weird because the current PCBs for a lot of them that like for on the DIY side, things like that, USB-C is becoming more standard, but pass through isn't. So like that
I've only really seen them where it's just instead of a micro USB, it's just a USB-C.
Right. And then it's even more useless basically because usually it's USB-C plug into the keyboard and it's still a USB-A out, which is like, why?
No, it doesn't make any sense.
Why?
But the one thing that I do want to talk about with this board is this switch. So I'm using the Halo Clears, and I believe they are essentially just a Haku. I think Halo and Haku clones. Are the same thing.
They're clones. So how that went is the Haku was originally meant for that board.
And is it the Haku a clone of a Kale switch?
No, the Halo is a Kale switch. The Halo is a Kale clone of the Haku. Correct. And Haku is still made through Kale, I think, but they originally were making it for that board, but it was designed by a different group than Kale. Kale's just basically the manufacturer, not the designer for that.
Right.
And it was this group who was making it for it. There was some sort of drama, this or that, between them. I don't think it was that big a drama. I just think like different ideas or something.
So it's made by Kaiwa, designed by Input Club. So Input Club designs it. But the Clear is a switch that was tuned from the True, which is essentially the original one, and the Clear is slightly tweaked in a way from another designer to basically it gives a different sort of response back.
No, it's everything I've heard about it. It's a sweet switch. I want to get my hands on.
Yeah, I really want you to try it out. It's so fucking buttery, and that's why I love this switch. And I didn't realize how shitty a cherry blue is until I touched this fucking switch.
No, I'm happy you did that because Kale gets a really bad rap because Kaiwa is Kale.
Yeah.
But they get a bad rap. But no, like they make like some of it, not all of their switches. They do make some really cheap, shitty switches, but like some of their switches are fucking solid.
Yeah.
Like, and that's same with Gatoron. Like some of their switches are shit, and then some of them are really solid.
And some of Cherries are good.
Cherry, yeah, no, like that's always been my problem with the Cherry price point.
I like the Cherry Red's the best. I think they're the best ones that Cherry makes.
Okay, yeah, and then I'm not the biggest Red fan, but like it's
yeah, me either.
There are like a lot of these companies get a bad rap for being cheaper on some of their products sometimes, but it's which is always interesting to me because some of their products are fucking phenomenal. And I'm glad you really like those.
Yeah, I want you to try them, get your hands on. I would maybe try to get a sample of a Clear and a True and see which one you like better, and then whatever other switches you want. But it's like a buttery switch. So it's like there's an actuation point, which is it doesn't take that much force. It's about a medium switch. But then there's like this sort of like a buttery depress to it before it touches the actual like plate. And then when it comes up, it's not like a springy switch. It just kind of like velvety. It just feels like velvet. Like it follows the finger really well. So it's great for if you're speed typing, and it's great for gaming both at the same time. So you have the actuation of speed typing. So it's like, but you also have like it's like fast. You know what I mean?
Better version of.
It's kind of like
browns.
It's kind of like a brown.
But actually, what everyone wants a brown to actually be.
Yeah, it's like a better craft brown, essentially. Like they did a really good job on it. And I have browns, I have blues, I had the Cherry MX speed switches, and I like the speeds. They're great because they are good for fast.
Oh, that's actually cool. Yeah. Okay. So there's still closer to blue force wise.
Right.
But you can probably press them fast because it's still okay. I'm looking at the charts.
Yeah.
Still 63 grams force, a tactile peak force, but actuation's at 55.
Right.
And
it
that's
actuates before you can like fully depress it. So,
yeah, bottom out 79.
Yeah, you can bottom it out, but you don't need to, right? So it's just like a nice velvety switch, and they made like that extra depress feel so nice, like it's just like gluey. But I will say there's a break into it, so you do want to use it a little bit before you like fully understand it, because some of it it feels a little bit stiffer at first when you start to use it, because I guess you just got to get that lube working in there. But once the lube's in there, it's just buttery. It's not loud at all. Very stiff key, like there's no wobble to the keys at all. It's a really nice key, and it's a box switch, so you don't have to worry about
it is a box, yeah,
any of that.
But the thing too, warning you, but also anyone else who might buy these with boxes, watch what caps you put in, because some caps are complete. Some of them crack, but it's how the box is made. With most keycaps, it's absolutely fine, but sometimes it is a little bit bigger, so it can start ruining your keycap a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, if at the same time, if that's the only keyboard you're planning on putting that keycap on, it should be fine. You just don't expect it to be 100% good switching between the two, if that's what your intention, or maybe do some research into that.
No, I already ordered a key set from Miter, and I had to email them and had like, it was like, have you tried these on box switches? And they were like, yeah, it's good. So
yeah, you
definitely do want to make sure that they're just
like, even what I've seen though, like
they're pretty small community, so they'll reach back out to you.
But what I was gonna say, even with boxes, like what it does is it might widen the stem like a tiny bit, which isn't like it's not the end of the world at the same time. So I'm saying to watch out for it. If it does happen, it's really not going to kill you, especially if you're using it on the device already.
So what I'm planning on doing is making all the mod keys a different switch. I don't know if I want to do linear on the WAS keys, and then making the mod keys maybe like a stiffer clicky switch. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know how that would affect typing experience either. But I do want to mess around with it, because I am able to hot swap it, so I do want to do like a video where I kind of fuck around with it and see some weird configurations. But I do like it the way it is now. It's a super, super duper keyboard. A little expensive, but I was looking at building one, and I was going to spend $300-$400 on a board, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You don't have to do that near that much, especially when you're on 60-65. You can get a solid as shit board for like 130.
No, it's a little expensive.
But it depends on what
you're expensive.
Yeah,
I wanted an aluminum
KBD?
case.
Go through KBD fans, dude.
Yeah, I saw some. I was looking on some of them on there, on Kono, some other places as well. I kind of wanted to just like build like a crazy board, really.
I know, dude. Yeah.
It's kind of build something nuts. So we'll see.
Well, did you get you get the true or the clears?
The clears.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the clears.
All
right, moving on. The Shure. We were talking a little bit about this before the show, but
you can get, by the way, sorry, you can get 65. No, you can get 70 Hakko Trues for $35
for the whole set.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
Nah.
It's not too bad.
Why not do that?
Yeah, I was looking at that with an aluminum plate with an aluminum milled case or a wood case. I don't really know. Kind of looking around, and then I wanted to find one with a USB pass through, but you're saying that they don't even make them, really?
Well, they do. They're definitely hard to find, and sometimes they're not always the best boards. I
haven't found any.
A good board vendor is one up if you're willing to pay for it. But there's this one Korean brand that's hot as shit, but also KBD fans make some really great boards too, cheap. Sorry, go ahead. Continue.
Oh yeah, the Shure. So I bought this the other day. There's a shop near me. They just do like all audio equipment. I love the place. Bridgeset Sound. If you're in Philly, check them out. They're excellent shop. And I always wanted this mic. I've been talking about getting this mic forever. Mainly because this.
It's right the radio here. Mic.
Yeah, it's not even the sound quality. Mainly because it points to your face. So all the other mics that I've used, they sit like this, and you can only use them like this. You know what I mean? And it just blocks your face. It's not easy to maneuver. You know, I kind of was like really in love with this kind of design. So I was like, let me just get it. I've been talking about it for a while. They had it on sale. They were hooking me up a little bit. So I was like, let's do it. So I bought it, plugged it into my DAC, which is essentially a Scarlett 2i2. And of course, there's just not enough power in the preamps on the DAC that I have. So I had to crank it all the way up, and still it just wasn't enough. So I was like, fuck, wait a second. I have a mixer here. So I have a ZE8 by Allen & Heath. Excellent mixer, has excellent preamps to it. Then I plugged the mic into it, just straight into the mixer, which went into the computer. And that was the video that I uploaded today, talking about the Panasonic S1. So if you want to hear what that sounds like, check that out. But then I was like, wait a second. Instead of having a DAC and a mixer, I'll just plug the mixer into the DAC. And now you hear what you hear now. So I'm running preamps here and also preamps on the DAC. And now I finally feel like I have enough power to it without having to go the route of like a FET head or what's the other one called? The Cloud Lifter.
That is the hard part of that mic is
it's power hungry.
It will take whatever you give it and want more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and essentially I still have a lot of room to go, and I could put the mic super far away and talk. So I'm thinking if I just need to just crank the preamps a little bit, I could put the mic up here and game with it. You know what I mean? Where I won't have it in my face at all. So that's nice. So
maybe try to get a hold of EPostbox.
What's that?
That mic. He's a YouTuber who does a lot of mic reviews, but maybe try to get a hold of him. He would probably direct you to the most banging setup for that mic.
Well, then I was thinking I'm probably just going to get like a real audio stack, because I want one anyway, because I have a bunch of guitars, like a real compressor, a real preamp, real phono preamp. I have that turntable behind me that still needs to be basically set up the right way. So I have a lot more money to spend in the audio world, but I love it, man. I love the audio world. It's so much fun. It's expensive, but once you start to get into like the quality of certain audio and like getting the best out of the products that you have, it does become addicting. It is a fun little hobby.
Yeah. No, like I would suggest trying to shoot him a message, because he's usually willing to.
Well, I basically I talked to Joel. Joel knows all about that stuff.
Joel too, yeah. Yeah.
He has his studio is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I also have a Warm Audio 14, which is a clone of the AKG 414. And I actually think that mic sounds better than this mic, but it doesn't have the whole swivel to it. I mean, it's one of those soap bar mics where it's like this in your face. So I use that one at the office, and I use this one here, where I have it on the arm. And I think I'm good for mics for a while. I don't think I need to upgrade my mics, and I might give Jerry my old AT35, AT2035. All right.
I'll stay in the Audio-Technica family.
It's a great mic. Sounds excellent.
Because I'm running AT20 something too.
Yeah.
They're great.
All right. Let's get into CES. Let's do it. We got products. Let's look at the list.
We got a lot of products.
Might be a little bit of a long show, but you know what? You haven't heard us in a while, so we're going to treat you. First product is the best product.
The mid-CES. Okay, dude, you're gonna hit them hard.
This is the best product that I've seen at the show thus far. The OtterBox has fixed the worst part about pop sockets, and it's essentially a case with a pop socket built in. Now, you might be laughing, but the pop socket is an amazing invention. And it's a goofy invention. That's the problem with it. It bulges out. It looks ugly. Well, OtterBox said, let's make an indent in the case where the pop socket basically sits flush to the case. And now I'm like, fuck, now I kind of want one. God damn you, OtterBox. It's a dumb idea, but it's also a very practical idea, especially if you do a lot of like videography and photography with your phone. And I like it, man. We're coming out of the gate hard. It's looking good.
Biggest news, pop sockets.
Yeah, there we go. All right, next.
No, I mean, I do agree. Like, I'm not a huge fan of pop sockets, but I got a lot of people who do like them. Yeah.
You're not a fan of them because they suck.
Yeah, they just bulge out, and I don't like that. And I'm not. I'm sitting in a room where I already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Pop sockets?
6, and I count the iPad, 7, 8. I have 8 screens in front of me. The last thing I need to do is put my phone like this, watch shit on my phone. Like,
I know it's kind of crazy, but it is super useful when you need it.
No, it is, and but at the same time, that's why I get it. I get why people love them. I'm the fucking weird one here.
I want to know how much money PopSocket has made. I mean, it really took over the world by storm. I see them everywhere, and they're like $5-6 that cost literally one penny to make. Literally 1 penny it cost them to make, and they have such big margins on that shit. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some of these laptops. So we got a bunch of laptops here that were announced at CES, a lot of them containing a lot of the new hardware that we've been asking for in a laptop. The first one we're going to talk about is the Asus Zephyrus S17. Now, this is one of the more popular gaming laptops. It's pretty nice. It's a thin laptop with Max Q inside of it. This is their 17-inch model too. Thin. Yeah, super thin. Yeah. It's the one that opens up on the bottom to blow the extra air out, which is kind of cool, but I don't know. Who knows how long that'll last.
But it's still impressive how thin it is. Yeah. But you got real power in it. You still have a 1440 hertz or 144 hertz screen.
Yeah.
Like it is just, it's desktop grade.
What do you think about the keyboard placement? Do you think you could get into that?
Yeah, that's the hard part.
It looks so goofy.
It does.
But it kind of looks practical as well.
It's a risk, because it's one of those things where if I have it on a desk, which I probably do because it's a 17-inch laptop, even though it is thin, I like that. If I ever put that in my lap, fuck that. Right. Fuck everything about it.
That's the problem with it. It's a really nice laptop, but why would they do that? That's my question.
Honestly, well,
I guess it's cooling.
Well, it is cooling, but we'll get into another product by them later that I wish every fucking laptop had.
And is it the mothership?
It is the mothership.
All right, let's talk about the mothership. Here it is. This is their flagship, no compromises laptop, the mothership. Gigantic device, which essentially has this breakout. So where you see this keyboard and the trackpad, that whole panel breaks out. So you'll see it in this video here. And then you have just a monitor, like an all-in-one monitor system.
It's an all-in-one Surface on crack.
Yeah.
Which is like,
is that a touch screen?
I don't know.
Oh man, imagine if it was a touch screen.
Touch screen, that's insane. Which honestly, it probably is going to end up being. But like,
oh, I didn't even think of it like that.
Just think of it, dude. We were talking about this before too. Modular Mac Pro.
Yeah.
That would be fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know? Or like an actual, like, that's when I think of actual mobile workstation, that's it. But the thing that I was talking about, that I'm alluding to when we were getting here, it's the fucking keyboard. It's the fact that you can move. Oh, you don't like your keyboard up top there? Move it to the bottom. You don't like it on the bottom? Move it to the top. Whatever.
Yeah. To
rip it off. Put the keyboard wherever you want. Like, that would be kind of cool. Obviously unrealistic on any laptop, but like that would be kind of cool for that feature of the Zephyrus just kind of having a weird keyboard.
Yeah, and that like folds up into just a normal keyboard, which is kind of with a trackpad.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. I mean, it's literally insane product.
Yeah, but imagine the Zephyrus with its weird keyboard. If you could have it there when you wanted to, when it was just on a little tiny hinge, where it's like, cool, now I can push it up when it's in my lap.
Yeah,
or like a slider. I don't know.
No, I know what you mean.
Like that would be fucking sick.
Yeah, and all of the components of the laptop sit in the monitor and they blow upwards, which is something that you can only do with this type of design. So you're going to get some nice cooling.
You would not put this in your lap. No, dude, this thing's going to be fucking 20 pounds.
Yeah, you're not putting this in your lap at all.
Because they were showing it off.
It's a workstation. Mobile workstation.
It is literally a workstation, but you can carry it if you need to.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Like I don't even know how mobile it really is. Like, it's mobile, which is cool, but it's almost definitely more an all-in-one.
Yeah, it's a niche product for sure.
Yeah. but like it's really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Because I think Linus, they were and I mean at the show they have it shown. No, there's like 10 pieces of CNC'd aluminum heat sinks in it.
Yeah.
So like this thing's not gonna be. You're gonna want to carry it every day.
No, but if you needed to, I don't know, edit some 4K red footage in a hotel somewhere, you pop this like in your bag in your carry-on, and you're good to go. Really, it's really cool. I kind of want a lot of laptops to do the same type of design, though.
Yeah,
just thin, thin and light.
Like this is what I wanted the Surface to be cooler, because like that was an idea I saw where it's just like, no, if you can have just a Bluetooth keyboard that attaches and is good, that you actually enjoy, and then you can take it off and you just put it on your desk and it's a fucking workstation.
Yeah.
And then you pick it up, you take it to the coffee shop, you work there. Once you're done at the office, then you take it home and you pop it on your desk and you're good to go. Like, not as a tablet, but like that, I think there is a market there of like making a mobile workstation like that.
Yeah.
Of like an actual, no, like it's not a laptop, it's an actual workstation that I can just pop up everywhere.
Next laptop, the Asus StudioBook S. Let me see if I can get the specs for, because I don't know them off the top of my head.
And this thing's pretty crazy too.
Yeah, I need to see this.
Especially for like the Ultrabook size, like this is pretty insane too. There's a lot of crazy Ultrabooks.
So you're getting a Xeon or Core Intel chip. You're getting Quadro NVIDIA graphics. You're getting up to 64 gigabytes of ECC memory and up to a 4 terabyte PCIe SSD RAID 0 in a laptop. Let's see the monitor specs on this bad boy.
1920 by 1200.
Okay, that's perfect. 1920 by 1200. Let me see. Is there any other specs on the monitor that you know?
That's all I'm seeing here.
Oh, it's almost 100% of the DCI P3 color space. It's Pantone calibrated. It's got a color accuracy out of the box underneath 2, a Delta E underneath 2. So I mean, it's close to a MacBook Pro screen as you can get. Super duper close to it.
Yeah.
Excellent screen. It's a content creator laptop. This thing is awesome. If you do 3D work, if you do video, if you do photo, you got a badass little portable laptop. It's got a SD card reader on the side, thank God. Got tons of ports.
And it's a 17-inch laptop, almost the size of a 15.
Yep. They were able to slim the bitch down. I mean, it's a sick little content creator laptop. The problem is for me is that I had an Asus laptop before and it was a piece of shit. So it kind of scares me. I kind of want to go play with one. Hopefully they come to like Best Buy or something. I can check it out, or Micro Center. So I can check it out, because the build quality on Asus parts are just terrible.
They're very widely, because I've had some that are shit and I've had some that are amazing, and I really think it depends on the price point.
Yeah, I can guarantee it's not too bad because it is one of their flagship lines.
Yeah,
I mean, this is they're putting a lot of bets on this for content creators.
But I do agree. I've definitely had some that were left me lacking or wanting more.
Yeah. But it is a nice laptop. I wonder if it comes in any other color other than
the weird blue.
Fucking blue.
It's not even like a good blue. It's like a really weird teal.
Yeah, it's like a baby blue with gold. Come on,
Asus.
Just make it black or silver. God damn you. All right. The Razer laptop. So Razer upgraded their laptops. They didn't do too much because you can't really do too much with the laptops that they have now. They just kind of upgraded them with RTX graphics in there. I believe they have one with an OLED panel now. I don't know if it's going to be for sale. It's the prototype. They do a lot of the prototype stuff. And that's something we didn't get this CES, was Razer doing some crazy, 3-panel laptop like they did last year. They kind of just was just like, hey, here's the stuff that we might be selling. But one has an OLED panel. There was also another one that was kind of cool. I don't know.
We'll get to
find that information.
More. But it's a good spec upgrade for the Razer Blade, basically.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a RTX 2080 Max Q or regular.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
An RTX 2080 Max Q and I mean, this thing is thin. I saw them at Micro Center. They are awesome little laptops. I want to buy one so bad, but I don't know. I've never had a Razer laptop before, so I don't really know. And, you know, Linus had a bunch of problems with his laptops. You can get it with the full HD 144 hertz or 4K touch. That's nice. And you're just getting a nice little spec bump. Nice little spec bump there. If you're a gamer, content creator, it is a nice option if you want something that's thin and if you got a lot of money, because it ain't cheap.
No.
It goes up to like
and if you want
$3,000.
Another really expensive laptop, I didn't see this on the list yet, but there's sort of Alienware's weird answer to the mothership. Alienware Area 51N.
Yep, I have
it's
that.
It's a fucking desktop.
I have that on here.
Okay, yeah, I missed it.
Here, I'll put it up.
There. Like it's awesome. It's a desktop. It's awesome. It's the dumbest thing in the world, and it's awesome.
It's awesome. So essentially, there's a dock on the back where you can upgrade the CPU and the GPU. So down the line, you can just swap in new parts to it. That's awesome. The problem is that it's proprietary.
Yep.
So they have
Dell.
to make
it's proprietary to Dell.
Yeah.
That's the other part.
They have to make the GPU. They have to make the CPU that will fit in this device. So I don't know how long that will be a thing for them. But who knows?
It's a really cool idea. And this is one of those things where it's like, this is a pretty sick idea. And I would trust anyone to pull this off other than Dell.
Well, I know that their Alienwares, they've been getting good reviews from a lot of people. But you're right. Dell is a little bit sketchy. Dell's a little bit sketchy.
Dell's fine. It's just like you're buying the cheap.
Yeah.
Just go into it knowing that they're gonna cut costs any way they can.
Yeah, and this is gonna be expensive too. It's not gonna be a cheap laptop.
Yeah, and they're still gonna try to cut costs wherever they can.
Yeah. But what you get is you get literally everything you want in a laptop. It's about an inch thick. It is not thin at all. So if you like to play your games with your arms up about 2 feet high,
it literally is desktop. All the parts are desktop parts.
Yep, they're all desktop parts, which is crazy. I don't understand the need for these desktop laptop replacement things. Like, I don't get that really, because this is not a portable device whatsoever.
It's
same with
it's for people who don't want a desktop but they're not going to move it, which is a niche market. Yeah. But I am aware of some people, like people who contract-based workers, things like that, where it's like, I'm not going to have to move it for 3 months, but I'm probably going to have a new contract every 3 months and have to move somewhere.
Yeah.
People like that, like I see this totally fulfilling a need where they don't want to drag a desktop.
Yeah. But would they get an Alienware? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are they going to get a mothership?
Yeah. That's the other side too, where like the only people I've ever seen with Alienware peoples are college students. And it's like every single one I've talked to was just like, it seemed like a good idea at the time. It really wasn't.
Yeah.
Like,
precisely. Monkfish.
There you go.
I don't know if that's cooked.
And I mean, that's the other shitty part. Some of them on this, and it's one of those things where it's going to be a really expensive fucking laptop. Because guess what? The base model's coming with a 1080p 17.3 inch 60 hertz panel. You have to pay extra to go to 144 or G-Sync.
All right, what else we got? The Razer monitor. Let me pull that one up. This thing I'm actually hyped about.
There's a lot of cool monitors that have been announced at CES and just before it.
Yeah. So this is Razer's first monitor. Again, I don't really know Razer products. I've never owned a Razer product. I think I owned a mouse once.
Some of them can be really good. Some of them are really shitty.
Yeah. So this one is
and some of them are they're Razer is such a weird company where some of their stuff I absolutely fucking love and some of it is the easiest shit in the world to make fun of. because all of their marketing is forever going to be a 35-year-old who looks like he's trying to be 16 with like edgy ass gamer shit, pretending that he's still fucking 16 being a gamer edgelord. And like that's really Razer at its heart. Is it's the 35-year-old mom who's trying to fit into her daughter's jeans, but instead it's gaming shit. Like,
I mean,
which is relatable
in terms of looks. Yeah. In terms of looks, it's better than fucking Acer or Asus or any of them, really.
And some of their looks look good, but like I just mean like the way they market their shit, it's just like, yeah. I think that analogy pretty much summed it up. I'm really proud of that one, actually.
But this monitor, everything is cool about it except the fucking RGB LED strip on the bottom. That is so dumb. Don't stop with that, please.
Yeah.
I have enough RGB. I have an RGB keyboard and a mouse. That's all you need at RGB. You don't need your monitor to have RGB. But it's a 144 hertz, 1440p monitor, 27 inches, which I think is a sweet spot if you are gaming.
No,
right?
it is.
If you're gaming,
there's no reason to
awesome.
go to 4K.
Right. That's awesome. You have that extra little resolution bump, but it's not gonna be so taxing on your PC. It's still gonna be super sharp. You know what I mean?
No, like speaking as someone who I work. I mean, every day I go to work on a 5K iMac, and I come home and I game at 1440p. I can't see the difference.
Yeah.
Like I can see the difference if I'm really looking for it, but like if I'm in the zone or like running a video or a game or something, and I've done that on both of them, it's really difficult to tell.
You're only going to tell if you're gaming at 4K or if you're watching a movie at 4K.
Yeah. But I mean like even gaming, I can like, gaming, you can tell when you like sit there and look at it, or if it's like The Witcher 3 and it's an experience type game. But like most of the games where I'm playing, it's like CSGO or something like that. I do not want to fucking play that 4K. I'm so fucking focused on the actual game that no, it looks the fucking same.
Yeah. No, for sure. Like Fortnite at 4K, who cares? You know what I mean? 1080p is fine. And then 1440, you just get that extra little. It's 2K. You know. You get that extra.
But like a lot of games, I know I totally agree with you. Where it's 1440 really is that sweet spot of no, it's gonna look fucking phenomenal, but you're gonna be able to run it.
Yeah. What's also cool about this is the way it opens up underneath so you can get at the ports, which is awesome. I want all monitors to do that. Please. I think that's such a good idea because I constantly plug shit into my monitor just because I have no more USB ports. Because my monitor is the only one left.
Just got to get some more hubs, man.
I know, dude. I have like 4 fucking hubs already.
I've been like starting to just like install them into my desk.
I was thinking about doing that, actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like on especially to
like
tip, do that with your SD cards. Do that with your SD card readers. Like get a couple of really good SD card readers. Seriously, just install that right under your desk.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Get there and just pop it in. Dude, it's fucking phenomenal.
I was thinking about installing them into the desk too, like nicely route them out and stuff. But
it's fucking sick when you do that.
Yeah, the monitor's pretty dope. It's got I think they said near 100% ARGB. It's got HDR. It only goes up to 420 nits. Only goes up to 420 nits, so it's HDR 400, which is the lowest end of HDR that you can get. So it's basically not really HDR; it's more of a marketing term. It's got underneath the millisecond of response.
But it's 420, dude.
It's 420.
Fucking, I'm telling you, it's fucking Razer, dude.
And it only supports FreeSync, which is a bummer because I own a GTX card. So it's kind of one thing that's keeping me away from it. But I do. I mean, that's a size that I want. I have the 32-inch ultra wide. I hate it. I want to go to a 27-inch 16:9.
To me, it's fine that it's FreeSync. I don't even bother saying, "Oh, it's FreeSync" anymore, because FreeSync's the industry standard now. You either buy a G-Sync monitor for an extra $200, or any monitor you're going to buy nowadays, it's going to have FreeSync because it's free.
That's a good point.
Like if it's over 60 hertz, even if it's 60 hertz, probably. Like FreeSync's free. They're might as well just add it.
That's a good point. Very true. Yeah, that's a good point. All right, moving on. What else do we have on the docket? Oh, the Gigabyte Aero 15. Let me build this up. I don't think. Oh, here it is. I got a link here. Gigabyte Aero 15. Now, this is the laptop that I've been looking at. So, it's essentially Gigabyte's new updated Aero 15. It's got RTX in it, 2080 Max-Q graphics. It's got, whatever i9 you want in there, the i9 8950HK chip. It's got a 15-inch panel. It's got, all the bells and whistles. It looks really clean. It looks really simple. It's got a nice form factor keyboard on it. Got a nice trackpad. It's got a nice I/O to it. But the thing about it is that the screen is really, really nice. So if you want, you can get up to the 4K X-Rite Pantone certified panel, which gives you 100% PCI 3 color space. I don't know if it's HDR. I don't know if it says it in any of the specs yet. But like I said, that doesn't really matter too much on a laptop. So it's really a good hybrid between gaming and content creation. 2080 Max-Q is really cool. I want to see the benchmarks on that, but you can pretty much run anything on that laptop card. So that's kind of where we're at with laptops. You know what I mean? We're at this point where it's like the Max-Q stuff and the new AMD stuff that we're going to talk about later. We're really getting performance almost towards desktop performance, and we can get them in pretty thin chassis. And I think that's why these companies are pushing out these laptops, because it is a nice form factor. But it does raise the question, do you go that route, or do you go the route of getting a nice desktop PC and then getting an Ultrabook? Because how often are you actually going to game on the go? And that's the thing that I've been kind of worried about,
That's why, as cool as a lot of this is coming to, I usually go the desktop Ultrabook route, just because I already had the desktop. If I didn't already have the desktop, that might be a different situation. But it's like I've always had the desktop, and my laptop's always, I take it to work, I take it to other places, but like I'm using it for work. I'm gonna go take it to the coffee shop and work. I'm not gonna go take it to the coffee shop and then load up fucking Fortnite and start having 12-year-olds screaming in the coffee shop.
Exactly. And when that's the case, you want a laptop that's super tiny, super thin, has a great keyboard, and has great battery life. You don't really care about any of the other specs. And they're trying to merge the two. Until like Razer has gotten pretty damn close to that, to an Ultrabook style laptop that has performance enough to game. They're not quite there yet, but we're almost there. Maybe 1 or 2 more years, and then I think we'll pretty much hit that mark. But if you are someone who's looking to get a laptop, maybe you're a MacBook person, and then you're like, you know what, fuck Apple. I want to get I want to play some games. I want to do some Premiere Pro. Then looking at these options is a good idea, I guess.
And it's one of the, it is, yeah, it's worth looking at those options. It's always worth looking at all your options. And then it's also worth defining your price point too. Cause like same time, if you want to live and die by Apple's ecosystem, which is fine, but it's not always the best for price per performance or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
There is still also the option, okay, you buy a decent monitor, a decent keyboard, decent mouse, and spend the extra money, get an eGPU setup that's sick.
Right.
Because like that's still totally viable, because then you can come home and you can dock it and you're off to the races. But then you still have that to go to work, which is, it's a fantastic laptop for taking to work.
That's a very enticing option. That's something I've been looking at for a while.
But it again, it's also one of those like, well, do you want to spend possibly up to $1,000 just to play games on your laptop, or should you just go buy $1,000 computer at that price point?
Right. Or upgrade your GPU, or upgrade something on your you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's very
because like I think there is calls for both of that, where it's like, cool, dude, you can if you want to live and die by that ecosystem, it's totally possible if you're willing to spend the money. At the same time, to me, it's like, I'd rather just buy the MacBook then for work, and then just build a $1,000 desktop instead, because it's gonna run circles around it still.
Exactly. Can you do me a favor? Can you run it for 1 second? I'll be right back.
Yeah, but we're gonna keep going. I want to keep going down this route of all of the weird ass monitors we've been seeing. because the CES has definitely brought out a lot of really cool and really weird monitors that have me really psyched. Because I always want more. I already said I have 8 screens in front of me. I want more because I'm a weirdo. But everyone and their mother is bringing out new ones. LG came out with a 43.4-inch curved monitor, which is a behemoth. Let's see. Samsung came out with a 49-inch 1440p monitor, also curved, or a 32-inch curved 4K monitor of ultra wides. So we're getting insane ultra wides that are just ridiculous to me. There's now 75-inch like TVs that can also work as monitors. But the coolest one that I've seen, well, there was 2 pretty cool ones. I'm really happy to see LG came out with a new 27-inch Nero Art portable monitor. More USB-C monitors are becoming a thing, which I think is awesome. Of just cool, you plug it into your USB-C port, it supplies power and data. That's been the dream of mine.
What are you talking about?
So I'm talking about all the cool monitors. And one of them, I'm happy there's more pure USB-C monitors coming out. LG released a couple called the Neo Art, but it's a portable 27 or 24-inch panel that's you just run it off USB-C data and power.
Who makes it?
LG.
Oh, LG.
Pretty sure.
The Neo Art, yeah.
But like Asus has been making these, and so have a couple others in like the portable monitor area, which I think is a cool area.
Yeah,
actually.
I remember Asus had one. Yeah.
But like I'm happy that this trend's continuing and getting better. I was also talking about.
Actually, that's interesting because I was looking at it and I was like, I wonder who would want something like this. But you're saying that you would definitely like something like this.
Oh, I would because.
Are you saying you want one that you could put in your bag?
That would be more the Acer because Acer makes some Acer or Asus. They make some really cool 15-inch ones that are totally you can throw it in your bag. And there was also a cool 12-inch one that came out that I wanted to get to that is made for putting in your bag. It's this thick.
Mm-hmm.
Like the monitor is seriously this thick. The entire thing is the size of a couple of sheets of paper.
That's
and
crazy.
You just throw it in your bag. You take it out. It's USB-C. You plug it into your computer. There you go. You have an extra screen. Bam, like that.
Yeah.
Like for my workloads, that's yes, please, dude. But also, I've always been interested in these because, significant other, contract worker, probably moves every 3 months sometimes. You either get a desktop replacement or you build a little SFS, like a little small form factor box. And yeah, dude, if you got a sick portable monitor, like there you go. Why do you need a desktop replacement then? If you actually have everything that's portable. So like
Dude,
there is niche
USB-C
markets.
monitor thing is awesome. I've been doing it for a while. I love it. I go to my office, I plug the MacBook Pro in, one cable, boom. All of my shit's plugged in. It's awesome. Definitely a good idea. Yeah, but I could see having like a little tiny portable monitor that you can kind of bring around with you being a good idea for sure.
I also was talking about all of the crazy ass ultra wides that have come out. Like 49-inch 1440p monitors, 43.4-inch ultra wides that are all curved, 32-inch 4Ks from Samsung. But I was really all trying to get to what was announced just like I think it was a day or two before CES, Samsung Space Monitor. Oh my God, this thing is so dumb and I want it.
Yeah, I posted about this on the Instagram.
Like,
I just want this.
I realize it's
I
just
want the stand.
Yeah, I know it's just a stand, but it's just like, how the fuck has no one done this?
I want the stand so bad.
Like, as someone who's always in small apartments, like the stand's fucking perfect. Of like, yep, put it up off the desk, it's out of the way, and then when I want to use it, bam, it's right in front of me.
Yeah,
and it's a good screen and it looks great. Like
imagine if it's a touch screen and then you could turn it into like a Surface device.
Yeah, like the fact, but it's also just it's partially the monitor too though, because the monitor is completely flat on the back, which no one really does. Like even for VESA mounts, VESA mounts is sometimes annoying because most monitors are curved on the back.
No monitors. You can't do that unless you have a wall TV. which is like
Yeah.
one TV, and it's like $9,000.
Yeah. So like this thing is kind of awesome to me.
No, it's a
Like,
great idea.
I mean, I know it's just completely an aesthetics thing, but it's just like I just saw
Not
this as
really.
like, I mean, it isn't. It is a functionality too, but like I just aesthetically, I don't know, dude. It fucking pleases me so much.
Let's see. What are the specs on the monitor? Do we know them?
I was hearing a
I
thing was
couldn't see 'em.
1440. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go pre-order it right now. $500. 4K, 32 inch.
32 is pretty big.
That's a good
pretty
size
big.
for 4K.
Yeah, that's a great size for 4K.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big monitor. And then in the picture, it looks a little smaller because it's
Or
next to that MacBook.
$400, 27 inch, 1440p.
Yeah, that's pretty dope too. What's the refresh on them? 60, I'm assuming. It's not like
I'm
a
assuming.
gaming monitor, right?
It's really hard figuring this out at the moment. I'm gonna keep trying to look, because like
I mean, if it had
Samsung
like high like refresh, then I could be like, maybe I'll get one.
yeah, no, that would make it even better.
If it had something,
The hard part is
something like that.
I'm just getting directed to fucking from Samsung themselves. They have a pre-order. Guess where that pre-order takes you?
Where?
Takes you to fucking Amazon. It's just a fucking Amazon link, and it's like, oh yeah, great. I'm gonna find all my information on this Amazon page. No, fuck off. Jesus, 15 pounds still. But I mean, that's I don't know, dude. I think I want to see more monitors like this really badly.
What about a 43-inch 4K monitor at 120 hertz with display HDR 600?
Oh, dude, I know. I was talking about that. It's so fucking nice, though.
The XG43 438Q. So the monitor I'm using right now is the PG34Q, which is their ultra wide, top of the line flagship ultra wide, and I fucking hate it. I love everything about the monitor except the ultra wide aspect ratio. So when then I see the 32-inch 1440 144, I'm like, okay, with the HDR 400, it's a little dim, but then they have the 43-inch 4K. So if you are someone who plays games, but like immersive story games, that is excellent. That's excellent. That's insane. That monitor is going to cost like $2,000.
Oh, the 27 inches, the 1440p is 144 hertz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Display HDR 400, which is a little dim, but at least it has the HDR functionality, I guess.
Oh, are you looking at the Samsung one now?
No, I'm looking at the Strix.
Yeah, the Strix.
Yeah, and then the 49-inch 32:9. They have a super ultra wide right here. Display HDR 400. This is their 49-inch. What is DFHD? I guess it's 3840 by 1080. That's the resolution. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, sure.
That's an extra 12 inches from my monitor. Oh my god, that's insanity.
No, yeah, some of these are getting fucking massive.
That literally covers your entire peripheral vision if you're sitting in front of it.
And then it's curved, which
it's curved.
No, like okay, I thought curved was a lot of bullshit, to be honest. I did buy one to test out. It actually kind of works.
Yeah, it helps a little bit for sure.
But I mean, it's one of those things though. The bigger it is, the more it works.
Yeah.
And
when I do my racing sims, I pull the monitor closer, and then it covers you a little bit.
Like I don't. The weird thing though is that's going to be a productivity thing. I don't know how much I'll like that.
The 49-inch.
Yeah, like being curved for productivity.
That's too.
But
much.
like for games. Yeah, dude, like just imagine Witcher 3.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Where you look is Witcher 3. Like, oh yeah. Yeah, dude.
You're just
everywhere. Yeah.
And it's also 94% of the DCI P3 gamut. I'm super happy a lot of these monitors are covering these color spaces because last year, I mean, you were getting like 70 to 80% of like sRGB. You know, you're lucky you got any Adobe RGB, but now they're going after DCI P3, which is even bigger than Adobe RGB. And that's broadcast standard, and they're all trying to cover 100% of it. So that's awesome. So I'm definitely going to be getting a new monitor this year. I just
Also,
don't know which one yet.
Nvidia's finally apparently shipping the big fucking TVs that they were talking about last year.
Oh, yes.
Those are finally shipping like we expected a year later, even though they kept saying 6 months or whatever. Oh, excuse me, BFGDs.
Yeah, what's it called?
Fucking God, big fucking gaming display or whatever.
65-inch 4K HDR gaming display for $5,000. Got G-Sync, 144 hertz. That's insanity. Like, there's literally nothing like it.
Yeah, no, that's literally. But while it is $5,000 and it is stupidly expensive, that is the nice thing about that is actually a fucking TV.
Yeah.
Like that is like, no, you're gonna keep that for 8 years.
Yeah, and it has 144 hertz at 4K with HDR and G-Sync. There's literally nothing like that. You can't get that anywhere else. That's the only display that can do that type of technology. It probably has like some crazy technology inside of it,
now,
but that's crazy.
What's kind of sucks? Yeah, that's the downside though. At the GFD now, I'm happy. We've been seeing more TVs this year coming out with FreeSync.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy about that for the future of console gaming.
Yeah.
Because
You think consoles will have like FreeSync technology in it?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking next consoles will probably actually have FreeSync.
They better.
I totally think that the next consoles are gonna have FreeSync.
They better. I don't really notice much tearing in console gaming anyway, but it should definitely help it out.
No, I think that would be a huge step.
Yeah.
Especially for all of the games that want to start trying to really push 4K and things like that. Yeah, if you give them FreeSync, that will help so fucking much if your TV supports it. Right. That would be great. That would be insane and awesome.
Lenovo has created its own Surface Studio.
That was interesting.
Yeah, this thing's pretty dope. I like the idea of like a Surface Studio product.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the Surface Studio kind of sucks. It's like all old tech. It's in a box that basically gets really hot. And when you're doing photo, video editing, and light gaming, you're just going to burn the shit out of it. But the Lenovo one, it's pairing up 8th gen Intel parts, 32 gigabytes of RAM.
It looks better in every way except the screen, and it's cheaper.
Right. That's the thing. It's a little bit cheaper. The screen's
like $1,000 cheaper.
The screen's not nearly as good. That's kind of where they cut the cost. You know, you're getting a kind of a weaker panel, but nonetheless, it is a Surface panel, you know, that you can touch on and do your stuff on.
But like, I think this will have a market, and I think the Surface will still have a market. Because while you're right, the Surface Studio hardware wise sucks. You're buying it for the screen.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like most people who will get a Surface Studio, their companies are paying for that, you know. So you might as well get the best. I don't know too many. Maybe some designers, some artists will get a Surface Studio.
I do see some people switching to this, especially and artists too. It really depends on your type of art. You know what I mean? Because especially if it's more drawing related, yeah, why would you spend $1,000 extra?
I don't know.
Long as the refresh is good enough on this, you know what I mean, for drawing input. Like,
I don't know. I don't know any of the specs on the monitor.
I don't think you need your screen to be photorealistic if you're doing drawing. You know what I mean?
Well, you just want the colors to be good. You want it to be bright.
Like as long as it has good colors, but like it doesn't. It's one of those things where I would think as long as it's sRGB, it would be good enough versus, you know, P3 for photos.
Yeah. And it is like, even like drawing is still kind of a niche this is more for like CAD. If you're doing CAD, if you're doing, I guess, some sort of like Adobe After Effects work where you need a powerful computer attached to it. Because if you're doing mostly drawing and Illustrator, just get an iPad. Drawing's so much better on it.
But
you're spending, you know, less than $1,000.
It's kind of a cool, interesting product.
I like the studio design. I just wish the studio was better. I just wish the studio was just the screen.
Yeah.
If I could just get the screen, then I'd be a happy customer.
I just want the fucking Samsung Space Monitor. I don't know why I like this thing so much, dude.
Because it goes against the wall. It's awesome.
It does. It's like, dude, it's every hipster dream.
All right. And then Alienware has a 55-inch OLED monitor. Do I have the link here? Let me see.
Of course they do.
Alienware. I don't have a link. I have to Google it.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Alienware. If people haven't figured that out, sorry, Dell fans.
So Alienware's TV is basically trying to get into the BFG display. It's a LCD 55-inch 4K OLED running at 120 hertz. And that's basically the only other monitor that touches the NVIDIA's monitor. That's the only one that kind of goes after that market. I don't know if it has G-Sync. It probably doesn't.
But like at the same time, it's still a 55K 4K OLED.
Yeah, and they say they're trying to have Dolby Vision inside of it, which would be really nice.
It is gonna be fucking gorgeous.
Very niche market again. The gigantic, it's basically you have
TV
to connect.
Replacement.
You have to connect your computer to it to really get the best out of it.
Yeah, but it's just like your cool TV replacements.
Yeah. Well, I guess like if I were to put a TV up here and then hook it to my computer, that would be kind of cool. But then again, am I going to spend fucking, $3,000 on it?
Exactly. And it's one of those things you might be too close. It's still, you'd want to sit on your couch. Otherwise, I'd just come over and be like, so you're working on stocks, bro?
Right.
Like,
and it's just one screen. So it'd just be one big Bloomberg monitor.
Well, no, I'm assuming they're like most companies where a lot of monitors are having really cool but weird software where you can box up things. Like even that Samsung, like you could box it up into 6 different spaces.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you could have 6 Bloombergs open.
Staying on the Samsung or on the TV route, Samsung has unveiled their micro LED technology. Samsung's TVs are insane. I can't wait to upgrade my TV. Micro LED 75-inch was the one that had the big showing on the floor. The micro LED is basically just tinier LEDs, which emit their own lighting. So it's kind of like this. It's kind of like OLED, where they kind of emit their own lights, but it's just a lot smaller, so you can pack a lot more of them together. The perfect blacks, best in class brightness. I don't know what that means. I don't know what the nits are on it. I haven't seen any.
It's all gonna be. I mean, it's still.
It better
CES.
be like over 1,000 nits.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's still CES. Everything's gonna be the best.
Yeah.
That is the hard part of CES. Every company is there telling you they're the best. It's a lot of fucking bullshit marketing.
Yeah, if this TV I'm assuming has the HDR 1000 standard. This is their flagship. It's got to have the HDR 1000.
You can't watch a flagship that's not at least 1,000 nits. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's got to be that. And that's basically what you're going to get. The thing is that it's their new technology, and from what I've seen, it's awesome.
Yeah, and like the way
it's modular.
That's what I was going to get onto is the modularity thing they've been doing with it. I realize that's never going to come to the consumer side, but that would be sick if it could. Like if you could just buy 10-inch panels, and make a TV. Yeah. Like that'd be sick, dude.
If it's like I want to upgrade my TV, but I don't want to buy a whole TV, I just want to buy 10 more inches, and you just slap on a panel. Yeah,
like dude, I'm gonna. Oh shit, there's this new movie coming out in 16:10. Oh, I'm just gonna go buy 2 more panels. Like, like that would be a awesome. Crazy fucking world.
That'd be awesome.
That's the shit I want to see, dude.
I know. Well, what we did get is an LG rollable display, which I think
actually coming to market.
Yeah, I think this thing is the best TV that I've seen at this show.
Dude, I hyped it last CES show. I loved it. I love this thing.
It's awesome. Comes in this weird looking box. I mean, it's a nice, clean looking box. I shouldn't say it's weird. I mean, it looks like a big sort of sound bar thing. And then the TV rolls into it. I'm sure you guys have seen it. The LG signature rollable display rolls into itself. They figured it out. 4K. It's fucking awesome. It really, really is. And the reason why it's cool is because it rolls down into different aspect ratios. So you can get like this line display here, And that just looks so clean, man. That looks so sick, where you can have this just like this sort of half display where you can just play your music but not have the full TV blocking whatever's behind it. So you can put this in front of some windows and have a nice scenery behind it. It's running low power at that point, so you're not sucking so much power out of the wall. Really, really cool stuff. And here it is, 65 inches. I wonder how much it is. I don't really know how much the price is. Let's see if we can figure that out. No. Let's see. I don't know if we have a price point on it yet. So they're saying it will be expensive, at least what The Verge is saying. The company's wallpaper OLED started at $8,000. And because this one is way better, it's probably going to be more expensive. That might be a little bit too much money. But if it was around like $3,000, I wouldn't put it past myself to pick one up. Oh man, I could look at this. Imagine just like kind of like rolling it down and kind of just having, a weather scroll or some type of news ticker or a stock ticker when you're not using it, when you're using the sound bar to play your music. It's just such a cool little idea. I don't know how exactly they're able to get it to roll up either. It must be using some like super thin, flexible panel. All right, moving on. Jerry has disconnected. His computer died on him. Hold on a second.
No, I'm back.
Oh, Jerry's back. All right, so we're done with TVs. I think that's it for TVs.
We are, unfortunately. No, that LG thing's sick as fuck, though.
Yeah.
Like, I love the idea of it, especially if you get, like, big window.
Yep.
Like, that's the perfect setup of you just put it right in front of your window. Like, you got a bay window. You roll it down during the day, and it's just beautiful. And then at night, when you want to just watch TV, you can just block the window.
So they were saying that their wall TV, which started at $8,000, and they expect this one to be more expensive than that. That might be too much money.
No, I'm thinking this is going to be like $12,000.
Oh, damn it!
Yeah,
it's too much.
But
maybe next year it'll be cheaper.
I think this really was the year of the TV, because also before CES 2, I think it was LG who were showing their cool like window products. Like they're meant for like display windows and stuff, but it's just an OLED TV. Or it wasn't OLED, it was LED, I think. But it's just see-through, except when they put an image on it.
That's pretty cool.
There's so many cool TV techs.
Oh yeah, I saw that on Linus's channel, I think.
Yeah, remember me sending you that? Where it's just like, you can just completely see through it.
Yeah, that's insane. And there's also 8K television. Sony had an 8K TV. I think LG had an 8K TV. And that is a little bit too ahead of its time. There's really no reason to have 8K right now.
It's cool, but
we're still barely getting into 4K.
Yeah, I expect the jump from 4K to 8K to be less than the jump from 1080 to 4K, I think.
Yeah.
Because you can already kind of see that between 1440 and 4K.
Right. Yeah, I want to see what 8K looks like, but there's nothing to display it.
That's what I was going to say. Is like, no one should go out and buy an 8K TV at the moment just because there is no content.
No, nothing. And they're saying they have like upscaling technologies, and you don't want that. You want true native. Literally, you would be uploading raw red footage. That's the only way to really see anything. If you had a red camera, you shot something and you had a top of the line red camera that shoots 8K, then you can upload the raw footage and then upload it that way, or maybe upload some sort of cinema camera, which costs $30,000 to $50,000. I mean, no one's buying those cameras unless you're in movie production. So it's really, there's nothing to display it. But what's good about it is that since it's here, movie studios might be more inclined to shoot and send in 8K. Maybe we'll have some new sort of digital medium. I'm assuming the Blu-ray is not going to be able to handle an 8K movie. I think we're going to just have to have all downloads at that point. And it's all the HDMI 2.1 stuff, which is the new HDMI standard. And that's the only thing that can run 8K. It's just not not quite. It's a little too ahead of its time, but it's cool. All right, and then NVIDIA announced the 2060, the RTX 2060. And this thing is going to be
new
dope.
one. The RTX 2060-70.
2060-70.
Because let's be real, sorry, 2060 fans, or I mean 1060 fans. You're gonna have to expect a price jump.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Just a little bit. Was it $100?
Yeah, about 100 to 130.
Yeah.
When I'm making jokes of 70, it's the new 2060 at the old 1070 price point.
Yeah. That's just how they're always going to do it. They're always going to raise their prices.
That's the shitty part, is they never have before, really.
Yeah. Well, they have the 10 series.
That's why they had a lot of pushback, I think, for all the RTX launches, is because sometimes they'll jump up the price point, but usually it's pretty close to the same. 1060 was the same as the 960. 1070 was same as the 970, pretty close, which were same to the 7 before, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They weren't that different, and now everything's like, hey, bud, how much money you got?
Well, I will say that this is an excellent value card. You are getting a lot of performance out of it, and you're getting RTX technology, which doesn't mean much now, but in the future it could. In the very near future.
Yeah, no, I'm just prefacing that as, if you were a normal 60 series fan, that like old good school $200 out the door, you got the best bang for your buck.
No,
spread your anus a little more.
Yeah, you're spending another $100. They're doing the Apple route.
Kinda
going the Apple route.
But at the same time, it's the best bang for your buck at the moment, hands down, no questions asked. It's 2060.
Yep.
Card is basically a 1070. This card makes the 2070 fucking meaningless, in my opinion, because enough people have been coming through with the reviews of overclocking the 2060 to it's a stock 2070 for $150 less than the 2070. It is, for all intents and purposes, stock. It's a 1070. You can crank it to a 1080 plus.
Yeah.
For $350.
Yeah, it's an excellent value. And I think they're really going competitive with this price because AMD is right behind them right now. You know, they kind of
they were also at CES, and based off of everything they were saying, they got things cooking.
Yeah. Yeah, AMD's got things cooking. Now, are they able to release something like the RTX 2060 at that similar price point? We shall see.
No, I think they are, because the reason why this card had to come out competitive, and it is, AMD sucks at the high end. Let's be honest. But AMD has always been, at least over the last 5 years, they've been really fucking competitive at the $200 to $300 price point.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of why this card is really fucking good, is because this is by far the most competitive part of the market.
Yeah. And I think eventually what you're going to see is you're going to see people either go for this card or they're going to go for whatever AMD has, because this is an RTX card. You know, AMD doesn't have RTX technology. They don't have anything like it. So you're kind of stuck. Do you want to spend the extra premium on RTX? You know, are you going to hedge your bets or, you know, and go the AMD route? And then if you want the high end, then you're just going to get a 2080 Ti anyway. That's
right.
the
and I'll
best
laugh
card
at
you
you.
can get.
Because you're spending $1,200 on one graphics card. I'm sorry. I'm just going to probably laugh at you. Sorry.
Some people got dough.
I know.
Some people got money. You know, they want the best.
I can
probably buy
afford
4 of them.
I can afford it, but I can afford it because I don't spend my money like that.
Yeah, but you also play CSGO.
Yeah.
You don't need the performance.
Yeah.
You know, some people want to play, I don't know, Battlefield that they want all the RTX features on and they want to max it out.
That's fair. And I think that's the thing that was crazy about this card, is this is now totally the king, in my opinion, of 1440, which we already were saying was the sweet spot.
Yeah.
And it can reasonably, for the most part, push RTX at 1080.
Yeah.
enough if you really want to do RTX.
And what's interesting is that it has the DLSS support, which is it's gonna be interesting.
It'll be interesting, but I don't know. The way I've seen DLSS used the most so far and talked about the most is for 4K, and this still really isn't a 4K card. I don't think.
I don't think so either, but I think if you're someone who plays The Witcher, games like that,
I think that
you
can
need
help.
30 frames. You don't need 60 frames.
And I mean, if they could get DLSS to push that to like 50, that's a big difference. Yeah.
Right.
I really do think DLSS, at least until they start branching it out larger than just mostly 4K scaling, I don't think that's this card's target market. Yeah. I think this is fantastic bang for your buck, and it can push RTX if you're into that. But the thing too is, do your research on RTX games when you're considering this purchase, because it's still pretty minimal. It's definitely
just Battlefield.
Yeah. Well, what's out right now is just Battlefield, but they still have 20 games announced using it or whatever eventually. But go through those games. To some people, like you, Wayne, I know some of those games you're probably gonna love. Me, I have no interest in any of those fucking games.
I mean, even at this point, it's like, I don't know. I'm not even that big on PC gaming these days.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? There's really not much for me to play on PC that I can't play on console. And that's kind of the big draw for me. It's like, that's kind of where this market, it's like, you guys, they need better games. You know? I don't need to upgrade my GPU right now because the games I play on PC, I don't need that. You know? Other than Witcher 3, I could always use a little bit more resolution in Witcher 3.
And you're not going to get that as RTX.
Yeah. Oh, man, imagine an RTX Witcher 3. Fuck.
I know, dude.
CD, what are you doing? Get to work.
Cyberpunk, though.
Oh, that has RTX?
That would be sick. But at the same time, by the time that comes out, like, there's going to be a new card anyway.
5080, yeah, 5080 Ti or whatever. Yeah, but this is a dope little. This is their dope entry card, and
I think this is a sick card.
I like Nvidia because I like all the weird shit they do, like RTX. Yeah. I like Shadow Play. I like all that other dumb shit that they do. I don't mind. I don't mind sticking with Nvidia.
For right now, best bang for your buck card, hands down. No questions asked for me.
Yeah, we'll get into the AMD side in a minute.
Well, it's the AMD side, but also it's either going to be AMD or it's going to be NVIDIA who fucks this card up. Because there's already rumors of an 1160, which is going to be the same card without RTX for cheaper. And then, that's coming from people like Linus.
No, I expect something like that to come. But I think
so if you can also get this type of performance for $250 and you don't give a shit about RTX.
I don't know if it'll be $100 cheaper. I don't see Nvidia doing that. It might be like $50 cheaper.
Even still, at that price, this price bracket, every cent matters.
True, that is true.
So like that,
I don't know if it would fuck. I don't know if it would fuck them up though for them to release that. It's all the same.
Well, I don't mean
parts really. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't mean fuck them up like in that sense, but it's just more like. I mean, that was the problem towards the end of the 10 series.
You're saying just like sales wise, really.
Yeah, right. Sales wise, where it's just like, or sales wise, but also consumer end wise. That was the problem with the end of the 10 series. There's fucking 6 different 1060 SKUs.
Yeah, that was so dumb.
3 or 4 1050 Ti SKUs. There's a
1030.
There's a 1030, but then there's also a 1030 with DDR4.
Yeah.
The fuck is that?
Yeah, so Nvidia just does it. It's because they just gimp.
That's what I'm saying.
They take the card, they just gimp them. Their margins are probably insane.
But they still call it the same thing, which is really hard for a consumer end.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying that's where I also list them as potential shooting themselves in their foot because that's their market strategy.
No, they'll have like 6 SKUs for the 2060. They always do that with their.
Oh yeah, no, there was if you believed the listings for suppliers, like I think it was Asus like alone had like 40 different versions of the 2060 already planned.
Yeah, I believe it.
Sure, dude.
I believe it. All right. NVIDIA also released some videos on their YouTube channel that I wanted to highlight. One is it's mainly just for cars, like their car technology.
They're doing a lot of stuff there.
Yeah, it's really fucking dope. So this is one has like some sort of computer system in the car, and it can look at your eyes. So if you use your phone, it'll say like distraction, 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 and make sure that you look back up. And it doesn't go off until you look back up. It can tell when you're drowsy and tell you to wake the fuck up when you're drowsy. It'll auto fix your mirrors for where you're looking. Like, it's all eye tracking stuff. It's pretty cool. It has this cool highlighting feature where wherever you look in the car, the gauges or the heads up display, all that stuff will light up depending if you're looking at it or not, and then it'll dim when you're not looking at it. It has like car tracking on the side of you, so you know, like, it'll lock your doors if someone's on the side of you, like biking. Like, this woman just tried to like get out of her car, but the door's locked on her. And then cross traffic stuff, so if you can't run a red light and get slammed and T-boned. So that's all kind of cool stuff. And then they showed off this driving sim technology, which basically is their virtual reality autonomous vehicle simulator. And it looks really, really impressive. It really looks like you're like driving. You know, they did a really good job building this little thing up. And as a driving sim kind of guy, I think this is really exciting. So, you know, you see this video, they're all like mapping out the roads. They show you how they kind of build it all together and how they implement all of the weather effects. And it looks legit. So I'm kind of excited for that as well. So NVIDIA's doing some cool stuff software side as well. And I think that's pretty much it from NVIDIA, right? They didn't announce anything else, I don't think.
No.
All right, a couple more things before we get into...
to reiterate.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to also throw it up. I know I've been harsh on RTX. But seriously, if you buy a graphics card right now, buy a 2060. Nothing else. It's that good.
I mean, I would even wait, though. Just wait.
No, that's
for
what I'm saying.
AMD.
Like, if you're going right now to buy a graphics card or you need one now, 2060. No questions. For me.
All right, and now check these out. These are the HyperX Cloud Orbits. So what's interesting about this, and I didn't know this, but what HyperX does is they essentially just rebrand headphones.
A lot of manufacturers do that.
Yeah.
Like the Status that are really dope. This was a company that they bought out that was going under. That was already a really good headphone manufacturer.
Do you know the name of them?
I can't remember it off the top of my head.
They do look familiar. They kind of look like Fidelios.
It wasn't Fidelio, but yeah. It was another just like that is. I mean, it's also like that with the PC case world. A lot of these are. It's just there's 5 companies really doing it, and it's all just like, well, we'll change this and call it ours.
Yeah, essentially what these headphones are, it's a headset. They're essentially rebranded Audeze Mobius headphones, and then they just slapped a microphone on it, and then you can get. I mean, they're expensive, but the Audeze Mobius headphones, they're planar magnetics. So you're getting a really, really good sound quality. Audeze is one of the best in the game. Their EL8s are, you know, one of the highest rated headphones you can get.
No, I think this is a real thing going at the Sennheisers, I think.
Oh, 100%.
Because right now, if you're like, I have to have gaming headset, no, go buy a Sennheiser.
Yeah.
Because like the audio quality is still, I mean, it's not as good as if you just bought a real pair of Sennheisers, but it's still Sennheiser quality, but it's got a good mic on.
Yep.
And this is exactly what this is going after it's a good headset. Yeah. It's a good fucking headphone.
Yeah, you're going to get some excellent headphone sound signature, and then they slapped a nice little mic on it. But what's cool, it also has like some head tracking technology where it essentially just positions the sound in one state. So when you move your head, it'll track the sound in that same direction. So you can always know where you are in space, which is kind of cool as well. And like I said, they're Audeze headphones that are rebranded. So if you are someone like Jerry said who just needs a headset for some reason, then this is the best option that you can get right now that I can see for $320. I think the Audeze ones are like $400. So you're getting a little price reduction. It might be a little plastic in some areas, you know, they're cutting costs somewhere, but what you get is a microphone, so that's kind of cool. Keeping up with audio, and then we have AMD, and then we're done. Technique dropped a new product, their first product in 11 years, They're the new Technique 12s, the SL 1200s. If you are a DJ, or you know anything about vinyl, you know anything about turntables, the Tech 12s are the standard. Those are what all the DJs use. It's because they're very rugged. They have excellent, they are like one of the first drive motored turntables. Very, very smooth. They're excellent. If you like scratching on them, that's what they're meant for. And they just kind of updated their line, the Tech 12 Mark 7s. The first time this company added to the legendary 12 series in 11 years. Most recent predecessor was the Mark 6, and that came out in February 2008. Let's see here. Techniques hasn't said when this turntable will be available or what it will cost, but considering this is a turn back to the line's heyday, it should be more affordable than some more recent models. So, I mean, I would assume you probably get it for like $2,000. That'll probably be the price on these, which is expensive, very expensive for a turntable. But I mean, you can really spend some money on turntables, so it's not that bad. And these are, I mean, if you want to be a DJ, like the actual wicked DJ, then these are going to be the ones that you buy. It's just that's the standard. So that's pretty cool. Nice to see Techniques. I really don't even know what Techniques have been doing in the last. I don't even know. What have they been doing? Are they just riding on the sales of the 1200? Because I really don't see it much else from Techniques other than the 1200. Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's take a look really quick. Yeah, they just sell other vinyl record players, but no one really buys them. You really just go for the 1200s, and there's nothing else on their website other than the new 1200s. So I guess that's their bread and butter. They're sticking with it. I don't even know how many actual DJs there are, which is interesting.
Well,
who's actually scratching records these days?
Yeah, it's partially that, and then it's also there's a lot, I'm sure, but good ones who would actually buy a quality product like this, you know?
Yeah, like going out and like performing, you know, who's actually. I haven't heard of that, and that's like a 90s thing. You know what I'm saying? Like mashing up songs and like that's an old school thing. I just haven't heard of anyone doing that in fucking decades. That's crazy. But maybe you want to get into it and revive the art. It is a pretty cool art. Check out DJ Kentaro. All right. AMD.
The disappointment tour of excitement, the really emotionally confused tour. It's weird, man.
All right, well let's start the Ryzen 3rd Gen Matisse. It's coming mid 2019. 8
So
core.
You want to start strong.
8 core Zen 2 with PCIe 4.0. It's got like a 2-die system. Where one is like their die and the other is like the module that like sends all the data to the motherboard.
Okay. The small die is the 7 nanometer CPU. Then there's the 1214 IO die, and that's your in-out that's speaking to your memory, PCIe lanes, because they're also going to send PCIe 4.0.
Yeah.
Now, this was an 8-core CPU, and she showed the die, and it's turning out she intentionally showed the die. Because if you look at that CPU, you can fit more than just that die on it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of space there.
You can fit another die on there. Maybe 2, maybe 3.
Well, see, here's the thing.
Move that one up to the top left. Keep that one.
7 nanometer, 8-core, 16-thread processor that was beating an i99K in Cinebench is what they showed.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty sick, and I was pretty hyped on that because it was also
it beat it. You know,
it barely beat it.
It barely beat it, but it also ran it at less. It was more efficient.
133 watts versus 180.
Yeah, it was more efficient. So
there's a lot of headroom there.
If they throw another one on there,
well, see, that's the thing. A lot of people went and got interviews with the AMD folks, including Ian Cutress from Anantech. And he went and was talking with Lisa Su, Dr. Lisa Su, the head of AMD. Question, More than 8 cores? Answer: there's some extra room on that package. You might expect us to put more room on that package.
Yeah.
Then
I mean, that's
also,
what AMD does. They
yep.
just throw
And then
cores
also
at you.
specified, oh, 3rd gen Ryzen, don't count on it being limited to 8.
Yeah.
There's that extra room is going to be used, is what her exact quote. So what the big rumor is, that was the 5 part.
Oh.
That wasn't even Ryzen 7. That was Ryzen 5.
What do you think 7 will have? Just 2 dies on it?
Yeah, probably.
Does it
12.
have one IO chip on it?
Right. It could have that 12 core that was rumored, or the 16 core that was rumored. The rumor is that what we saw beat the i99K might have been the 5 series $250 CPU.
Yeah. You think it'll stay at that price?
Yeah. Maybe go up a tiny bit, but AMD's always been stupid competitive about their price points with Ryzen.
So if they add another, so here's the little image here. If they add another die on it, do they need to increase the volume of that IO die?
I don't think so.
It's interesting. I mean, it looks like might even fit 3 on there.
I think you could, but that would really be pushing it, because I think you would have to start making architecture changes. Because the small die is the CPU 7 nanometer. You can definitely fit one right underneath it, next to the IO die, easily, and I don't think that'll mess it up. But I think if you start moving the IO position, you're going to have to look at architecture changes.
Also, I was reading on here that PCIe 4.0 only goes up to 7 inches on the motherboard, which should be enough to get that extra 16x to your graphics cards. I'm assuming that's where you're going to want to put it. But he was saying like some motherboards might not be compatible with that specific PCIe framework, so you kind of need to be wary of that. But this is pretty cool. This is pretty interesting. So, I mean, if you can essentially get an i9 performance for that cheap of a price, that's going to be. We're just gonna have to wait for Intel's 10 nanometer and see what they do, because there's no point in getting an i9 at all.
Yeah, and what's interesting is how
there's really no point anyway.
Yeah, no, there isn't. Like, I've thought that for a while. Like, now that they're finally at their price point that they were supposed to be, I like them more. But that was the fucking shittiest CPU launch ever, I think. Mostly just because when it came out, it was supposed to be at 530 or 540. No, they were selling for like 960.
Yeah.
And for $960, go fuck yourself. Basically, for that CPU, IMO, and I'm still pissed at Intel for cutting hyper-threading to just that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, if those rumors are true, or that's the way they're talking, this could be a fucking crazy launch. So that's why I'm saying what they showed us was really cool, but in some areas it really wasn't. It was underwhelming, but in some of these areas like this, fuck, dude.
Well, the only underwhelming thing was sort of the Radeon.
And it wasn't even that underwhelming, but it was still kind of underwhelming.
It was
underwhelming for what we were expecting.
It's competing with the 2080. They can't quite top it. They can't quite hit that top end. No, I'm saying for like the 2080 Ti. And
right. They're not going to, yeah. They didn't top the 2080 Ti, but they did top the 2080 barely, supposedly. Wait for benchmarks.
Yeah.
Wait for actual reviews.
And that's kind of the theme of AMD. They're really competitive in the CPU market in the last couple of years, but the GPU market, they just can't quite figure it out. And that's just because NVIDIA is a dedicated company to GPUs.
Right. Well, no, it's partially
so much money.
It's partially that, but I think they've figured it out to an extent. They just haven't figured out high end. Low end, they've been competitive as shit.
Yeah, they've been competitive low end. I'm just saying,
and
like,
that's
technology, manufacturing wise, they can't quite. And I don't know if it has anything to do with the engineering process that they have there. But you got to remember, NVIDIA
and it might
is a standalone GPU company,
right? And I think it does, because that's why I think AMD's baller at normal consumer price points, because AMD is always, when you think AMD, you have to remember how large now server architecture is but it is mostly CPU based because their main form for a long time was building SoCs.
Yeah.
It's all about trying to have it integrated as much as possible. That's why all of the video game consoles are AMD.
Yeah.
And that's why the next ones are going to be AMD.
Well, which is interesting because Intel has been touting a lot of their SoC stuff at CES this year.
Right, but their graphics are garbage.
Yeah.
And like some of their SoC stuff's starting to make waves, but like that really is AMD's bread and butter, is making quality custom SoCs. So a lot of their graphics, especially too, is tailored towards that. But I'm still just, dude, I want more. That's why that's the biggest disappointment from me, is just this little tease of Ryzen 3 or Zen 2 Ryzen 3000 of just like, I mean, you just showed an 816 going against an 816 and beating it. It was probably overclocked, I'm thinking, but I'm not sure because they were. She
said it in a weird way.
Yeah, she said it like, it's not ready yet, so it's probably not the right.
She said not final frequency.
Right, not final frequency. Means. So is it like, so it could either be she overclocked it or they underclocked it,
or
and it could be either. Because I'm also leaning towards it. Honestly, could have been underclocked, or it's. I'm expecting it to have been overclocked because the AMD hasn't been the kings of IPC, but all signs showing 7 nanometer, it's gonna have a huge jump in IPC. I mean, even just look at Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Like the difference between the A11 and A12. You thought the A12 or A11 was amazing, and then the A12 comes out and it's shitting bricks.
Right.
You know, so like that jump does make a huge IPC difference.
Yeah.
But
I would assume they overclocked it. I would assume they overclocked it a little bit, and they just don't know the thermal headroom that they have with it.
I'm assuming they overclocked it like that just because that would make more sense in my head. But there is still definitely in my mind they could have underclocked it, mostly because the Cinebench scores were dialed in literally perfectly. We're just barely better.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So that could have been an intentional overclock of just making it barely better, or that even could have been an underclock of, nope, okay, we can guarantee we're going to get a score on stage of 10 to 20 better, and we're not showing you anything.
Yeah, she made it seem like it was a stock clock. They just haven't decided upon what clock it was.
Right.
But we don't know exactly well, I mean,
we don't know.
It doesn't really matter.
Anything. Yeah, we don't really know anything about it except of that, which is why I'm like sitting here like, bruh, dude, show me more, because I know we all know you're onto something. Like,
yeah. And this is where that chip is what, to me, is what exciting is the Radeon's.
Oh yeah, well that too, and the Radeon. We'll get to the Radeon stuff. I want to segue a little bit. Yeah, 7 nanometer EPYC. So she's talking about 64 thread, or not 64 thread, excuse me. That was last generation. 64 core, 128 thread processors.
Yeah. 2 of them. You put 2 of them.
That you put 2 of them together. That one of them is on stage. One of them is beating Intel Pentium 8180s. These are $8,000 top of the line Intel processors. These are literally, for the last couple of years until EPYC really started making headway, have been king. Mm-hmm. There's nothing better. And just showing one doing 15% better than the dual socket of this, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they're just kind of rubbing it in that they were able to jump the architecture in Intel.
Yeah, and they should be like that, especially for all their investors.
And that's what CES is for.
No, like, and I mean, that's, compare NVIDIA stocks to AMD stocks.
Yeah.
And Intel stocks. Like, there's a reason why over the last AMD really hasn't been hit by a lot of the ways the rest of the tech world has. Stock-wise, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And
it's because they're smart about doing stuff like this. But for me, on like the programming side and server world side, like, yeah, dude, that shit gets me wet. Yeah. Like, there's no other way about it. Of like, I wish I had 30 grand to go spend on a server right now, because that's fucking insane.
Yeah, like a server farm.
Yeah.
And they were showing like a Fox movies production where they were like rendering,
that's
the
just with last gen
CG
Threadripper.
on the fly. Oh yeah, that was with the Threadripper. Yeah.
So like imagine giving them one of those, because the other cool thing with the Epics is some of the Epic CPUs, they do make a SKU that is a single socket CPU where it's not meant to run dual sockets. So you can get all of that power in like a regular computer workstation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like you want a render farm, dude. Holy fuck. But I mean, for me, for my work, I run a lot of VMs. So I like servers.
Right.
And obviously for me, I don't need to go run out and buy an Epic CPU with 64 cores. But at the same time, like, dude, yeah, I want one.
Yeah, like, I want to see what this I want to see the Ryzen 7.
Me too, dude. Or even if there's those leaks of them making a Ryzen 9 or whatever bullshit.
3 dies? No,
it would be 2 die. The old rumors.
What would be the core count on it?
The 7 would be 12 cores, so 2 dies.
Would be 16.
The 9 would be 16, 2 dies.
Right.
Which would be crazy.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Like, yeah, and I mean, if A&D keeps up their like competitive pricing like they do, like that's fucking ridiculous. So, yeah. I mean, even the Epic stuff's priced really fucking well. Like the 32 core Epic's single core chip. I was just talking about how the gold standard was the Intel Pentium 8180s. Those things are like $8,000. Oh, you could buy right now. You can go buy a 32 core Epic Rome series, 32 core, 64 threads. I think those are like $4,000.
Half the price.
Like maybe 5. Like, yeah. So I mean, they're that competitive everywhere in every market.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't think the Ryzen stuff's going to go up that much.
They brought on Phil. What the fuck is his name? I always call him Phil Schiller, but it's not Phil Schiller. That's the dude from Apple. Phil Spector. I don't know. The guy from Microsoft.
Yeah. Holy yes.
And they were talking about basically their partnership. So what we should see in the next generation of console is essentially some sort of AMD SoC that we're hoping does 4K 60 FPS. That's what I'm hoping.
Like Navi?
Yeah.
That's the hope.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah. I mean,
it's the only way they can go.
Probably if it's not coming out, because I mean, we're still not expecting that to come out this year.
Well, sort of.
I mean, maybe at the very end of the year, but I would still expect new consoles next year.
Well, supposedly the Sony one should be coming soon, actually. Or at least announced pretty soon. So who knows?
I can see them announced this year. I don't know if they'll ship this year is what I mean.
Yeah, who knows?
Or at least till the very end.
I was just saying the rumors, they're a lot sooner than we initially thought. Could be. But Radeon was kind of just like $700. It's $700.
That's the killer. That really is what is the killer.
And that's kind of why I'm like, why would they want their Ryzen series cards to be that competitive on pricing when Intel really doesn't have an answer for them yet? So they're kind of like in that NVIDIA position where they can kind of just price whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
That's what kind of makes me worried. And actually AMD stock lately has been a little bit, because they've all kind of been a little bit low.
No, they have all been going lower, but I mean, compare like over the last 6 months.
I know what you mean.
Compare AMD to NVIDIA. It's night and day. Like, it's actually insane.
Yeah. But still, they do have an opportunity here to increase their margins. So the Radeon coming in at 700 and...
Well, that's... okay, what the product is, it's the Radeon 7, which I'm sure is because it's 7 nanometers and it's $700, so they could get all the 7s. The God card, dude, it's 777.
I like it. Makes sense.
But it's a 2080. It's a 1080 Ti. Like, performance-wise, it's a 1080 Ti so far.
But it doesn't have RTX.
It doesn't have RTX, but it is cheaper than a 2080. But it has 16 gigs of HBM too.
Yeah. That is very true.
This is one of those. I wish it wasn't $700 because it is, at the end of the day, it's a 1080 Ti. For comparison's sake, like, how much can I find the 1080 Ti? Because the hard part of finding 1080 Ti's is a lot of them sold out, and now they're back up to 700 plus. Because for a while you were able to find them under $700.
Yeah, 700 right about now.
But now they're back up to 700 because RTX flopped to an extent. Because when RTX was originally announced, if you actually track like sales and stuff like that, everyone went and bought a 1080 Ti.
Yeah.
Basically. So the prices skyrocketed back up to basically almost launch price of the 1080 Ti. Or like where it was before any of the new GPUs were announced, which is interesting to me because now that the 1060 might be phasing out, but like if you've been looking over the last 6 months at GPUs, the 1070s, the 1070 Ti's, the 1080s, those have all been dropping in prices. The Vega 64s, 56s, those have all been dropping in prices noticeably because there's new market products out. But the 1080 Ti is still fucking $700 because everyone was trying to buy them instead of an RTX.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing, the same price. But because it's new, I do wish it was $100 cheaper.
Yeah.
If they would have come out at $600, it would have. I was saying the.
Do you think we'll even be able to get one for $700?
Possibly, because that's the thing is, crypto's dead.
Yeah, that's true.
So you can actually buy this shit again, and if AMD does what I'm hoping for,
but I still feel like there's a lot of people who haven't gotten their card yet.
I think there is. I mean, I'm finding Vega 64s for 400 and under, which, 6 months ago was impossible. So I think that's been part of why those stocks we were talking about all fucking tanked, is because now everyone has too many cards still in stock. But
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if like consumers are. I don't know if anyone has actually went out and gotten their cards. There was that crypto rush, you couldn't get anything,
right?
And then there was the RTX rush, and then everyone was like, "I'll wait to see what's going on." And now we're at the Radeon. It's either Radeon or RTX.
Like
probably gonna get a lot of people buying GTX anyway.
Yeah, tons of people are still buying GTX, surprisingly.
Or that 2060. That's gonna be
now
super popular.
Now that the 2060's out, I expect GTX to start going down again. But honestly, I think GTX sales were still the most because like I was saying, like, dude, out for a while there, I was seeing 1070s and 1070 Ti's go for like 280.
Dude, I could still sell my 1080 at cost that I bought it for. My 1080.
Yeah. But what I'm saying though is I have seen some of those cards go on big sales.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I almost bought a 1070 Ti for $280, brand new.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
you should have got it.
Yeah, I know. Now look at me. I don't need it though. I want it, but no. But at the same time, I want something new.
Yeah, I know. Me too.
But the big seller here, I guess, it will run FreeSync. You'll be able to run 4K FreeSync. You'll be able to run 1440p FreeSync, like whatever the fuck you want.
It was running Devil May Cry above 60 at 4K maxed. It's got the 16 gigabytes HBM2. It's got 1 terabytes memory bandwidth. Like, it's a good card.
Yeah,
it's just a little bit pricey.
It is. No, it is, and that's the killer.
Just because RTX exists. If RTX didn't exist, it would make sense. But because that RTX 2080 is there, and you know,
I mean, it is there, but I think it's still fine being there because I do wish it was cheaper because it'd be even more enticing. But it's also one of those like, well, the RTX 2080. That's why people are still buying. That's why the 1080 Ti rose in price again, is because I don't think everyone's as sold on RTX as NVIDIA was hoping.
Well, would you go at RTX 2070 over a Radeon 7 at $600?
at 600, if they're both 600, fuck no, I'd probably buy the Radeon because of that extra performance. Because like I said, for me,
the Radeon 700 though.
I
So
was saying if they were both
$100.
600, right? But even at 700, I would probably step up to the Radeon 7 or buy the fucking 2060 and overclock it. The 2070 is the dumbest card in the world now, which sucks because when it came out, it was good.
What about the 2070 Ti? Does that exist yet?
Nope.
What about a 2060 Ti? Does that exist yet?
Please don't.
It's gonna have to exist.
Enough fucking SKUs, dude.
You know we're gonna get that.
I know.
Yeah, the RTX 2060 at that price point is so competitive.
Yeah.
Because you can overclock it and you're getting 2070 performance and you're getting it at half the price of a Radeon, which is about 30% more performance.
But that is still a good chunk because the thing too is the 2070 is a 1080 and then the 2060 you can make into a 1080. But there's still a good jump between the 1080 and 1080 Ti.
Right.
So like it does come down to, do you want that jump or not? And that's why I do wish it was 600.
Yeah, if it was 600, it'd be way more competitive. Yeah. I can see them dropping it down.
And honestly, no, that's what I was gonna say is now that we're not in the weird crypto world, I actually think they could drop it down.
I don't know if they will though.
I don't know if they will, but like that's my secret hope is they will, because that's what they do with their CPUs. Every CPU they launch at a fucking competitive price, and then the next month they fucking chop it even more on sales all the time. Yeah. They've done this for all of the Ryzens, which is insane to me. Like I bought my Ryzen. I have disclaimer. I have a Ryzen 1600 originally that I overclocked the shit out of. I bought that a month after it launched, already got $30 off of it and got $50 off my motherboard a month later.
Yeah.
Like AMD does that shit on their CPUs. It would be really cool to see them do that on this. Like if like in a couple of months it does go on a sweet sale, that it's a whole nother story to me. The other thing,
$600 seems a lot better of a price point.
Yeah.
Because then it makes more sense.
The thing too that I think will be a story for this card.
We don't even really know benchmarks on this either.
I want to see the benchmarks.
Is it really 2080 Ti performance? Like
not 2080 Ti, but 1080 Ti.
I mean 2080. Yeah. That's what I meant.
Yeah, but like the way they were talking about it, of seeing, compute wise, like OpenCL and stuff like that, and actual content creation, I think that could end up being killer.
But it had some nice performance gains. It also had nice gains in Vulkan.
Yeah. But I mean, for like pure compute too, this could be a budget compute king. If like you're thinking of compute too, because that's 62%.
Well, the HBM2 is excellent.
Exactly. And you had 16 gigs of it running at a terabyte a second.
I want them to put it in a MacBook.
I know.
Then I'll get one.
I want them to put it in the Mac Pro. That's also why I'm happy.
Yeah,
because this is going to be in the Mac Pros.
Yeah.
This is now the high end, and I'm happy
with
about
like
that.
A Ryzen 9 in there.
Yeah, like you're gonna have a dope system, but like,
I like that idea.
What kills me about this card, what kills me about this, and why I'm also defending it, when I was listening to it and watching it both times, because I watched it twice, because I've been having to do shit all day, so I haven't been able to focus on it completely. But I felt this way both times. I am getting, and it's a different product. It's a really poor comparison, but the way the launch made me feel, or reveal of this card made me feel, it's a very similar feeling that I had towards the iPad Pro, in completely different ways, where to me, the specs of this thing get me wet as shit. Of 16 gigs, HBM2, you got, 60 compute cores at 1.8 gigahertz, and it's all going to be held together through a terabyte per second bandwidth.
Yeah.
That's literally fucking insane. But the software is going to fucking fail it. Yeah. And the software is failing it. So if that was like my gut feeling, like it's a completely different product, but it was a similar feeling, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Where it's like, that's why I like this, but I also hate it, because like AMD, and that's why I'm still really interested, because AMD's done a lot of cool things of making some of their drivers and things like that more open source and getting better on their software side. Where like the programmer side of me is looking at this card of just like, can I just like take this on a field day and actually like just hit it with a ton of power and be able to program something to use the fuck out of this card? Because I think if you could actually get something to do that, it would be kind of insane.
Yeah, and I kind of wish
it's just one of those. It's one of those like, and that's
like the best case scenario for this card is like a Mac system where it's just solely compute.
Right, and that's why I was comparing it to the iPad Pro, because I had the similar feeling of just like it's two lockdown products that I think aren't reaching their potential. And the programmer side of me is sitting there salivating over the actual power that's in those two products, where it's just like, bruh, let me add it and let me actually into it and just go ham.
Yeah. That's pretty interesting. I'm more excited. I want to see what this Ryzen's going to do.
Me too. That's the more interesting product.
I want to see what they do on the SoC side with the consoles. Because like I said, I don't really, the PC gaming that I play is like, I don't need all this fucking performance anymore. The console gaming is really catching up. And, if they are able to give me 4K 60, that's the gold standard right now. That's the best you can get on a TV. And if the console can do that, and I can play God of War, and I can play Red Dead, then there's really no point. I can just give me the Mac, and then I can have my content creation machine, give me the Ryzen 7 in it, put a fucking Vega in there, and we're good. Give me all that HBM2.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna follow this card. I'm hoping it's gonna end up start going cheaper, but at its price point, it is.
Why doesn't NVIDIA team up with consoles? Is it a contract thing?
I mean, I think it's partially that, but I think it's mostly the SoC. So you're going to get, you're going to run every game on an NVIDIA Tegra?
Yeah, but I'm thinking, why wouldn't they even
Are you going to try to go buy,
they haven't even
try to buy something from Intel?
No.
Like, where are you going to get the CPU from then? AMD is probably going to try to push you towards their system because their system's proven to work really well.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you have NVIDIA, it's just the Switch.
Yeah, that's about it. And it's not very good. It's a piece of shit. Now they're putting that chip.
There's NVIDIA's SoC.
They're putting that chip into fucking laptops now. You know that, the M150?
Yeah. Like,
and they're like, do we have a dedicated GPU? It's a fucking M150. You barely play Smash.
Yeah, no, this card is kind of disappointing because of the price.
That's
but if they can drop it, it could be more compelling. But
it's only disappointing because the NVIDIA came and stole their thunder with the 2060,
which they'll always do. But
that was super competitive. They could have easily priced that at $400.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. Because then you're like, oh, so it's $50 off a 1070 Ti with RTX. That's cool. If you want, that completely kills them on the low end, which is where most of the market is.
Yeah.
You need something that a low end or that normal mid range person can be like, I can probably buy that, because that's your bread and butter. Which was also why I was surprised they launched this card and nothing else.
Yeah, they didn't announce a lower end GPU.
Yeah. But the way they were talking, there's something in the works.
It's probably just some sort of just cut down version of this card. Maybe
I don't know.
Gigs of HBM2.
It could either be that or something else, because like she mentioned Navi, and like she said, there's a lot of other things in the work. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see some new thing by the end of the year that is like a new version of the 480, 580 series that is 7 nanometer. And it could be Vega, it could be Navi, and that would probably be your actual competitive card.
All right, last question.
Sorry. I just lost my train of thought then.
All right, last question. Do you think Intel's 10 nanometer will have a jump that is able to compete with the new Ryzens and the new Epics? Do you think it'll be that? Do you think they'll be able to compete on price?
I don't know if they'll. I think they have the ability. I think they have the ability to compete on price. I don't think they're going to.
Do you think they need to? That's the
possibly.
That's kind of the question. Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully, like that. We don't know. That's why I'm left wanting more. And there's a lot more in the works apparently.
I mean, there was literally one laptop that came out with an AMD chipset in it.
There's a bunch more. Just not on the high end.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They talked a lot about their laptop side, but their laptop side's still based off the old gen. It's not 7 nan yet. But it's still pretty cool if you're like trying to get it all in one with a Vega thing on it. Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say. The thing, though, that I did take away from this card, even though it's overpriced and you honestly shouldn't buy it, but still wait for reviews unless it becomes cheaper. The thing that was the most interesting to me, it's still Vega. And I mean that is interesting is if they start working on Navi and push Navi out at the end of the year or next, like preferably the end of the year, what are we going to see from that? Because this is already like, I mean, thinking of it that way, they just literally just from a die shrink and slightly minorly changing Vega a tiny bit, they just got a 26% increase in performance to 40% from Vega.
Yeah.
It's literally from the die shrink. If they take that die shrink where they already improved it by that much and actually get the proper architecture on it, you know, they could have something there.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is the card to buy yet, but I think it could lead to something cool. Because it's still a Vega, which Vega's kind of a flop.
Yeah.
Vega has some uses, and if at the right price points, it's great. But
Vega's only uses is its HBM2.
I mean, it's that, but like it's some things it's a pretty good card for. But it's all about the price points.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really a gaming card. I mean, it is, but if you're using a Vega card, you're essentially using it just for its compute. You're rendering with it.
That, or you'd still. I mean, if you get them priced properly, I'd buy a Vega card. I got FreeSync monitors.
Yeah.
And other things like that.
I mean,
there's definitely still uses for it.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. You know.
I would, but again, it depends on the price. Like, yeah, right now until the 2060 came out, yeah. Now the 2060 is out, you just buy a 2060.
Yeah.
But before the 2060, it's like, oh, if you can go get a Vega 64 for under $400, like, yeah, you got a better 1080 Ti for what, $350? Like, yeah, dude. Yeah, definitely go buy that shit.
Yeah. All right, that's it. We're over 2 hours. CES. Is there any more CES days?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
How many more CES days are there?
I think a couple, but I think most of it's been shown.
Oh, yeah, it ends on Friday. Oh,
yeah.
My God. Just 2 more days of CES.
Yeah, no, that's why I was happy we did push it back, because it was just like, no, technically the show's like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But obviously it's a whole week.
Jesus Christ. Well, next week we'll have hopefully some extra CES stuff for you.
Yeah, hopefully a bit, but I think we've probably seen the most important parts at this point.
Hopefully we see something crazy come up.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of a weak CES. It wasn't too exciting. I don't need a TV, you know? I already have a 4K TV. I don't need a fucking 8K TV. That doesn't even make any fucking sense right now. Just the only thing that I liked was the roll-up TV, and it's going to be $12,000. I'm not trying to spend that much money on a TV. One that rolls up. But nonetheless, we will come back at you guys next week. Like I said, I have some videos on the way for you. Spending some nice quality time on the NoLife channel. And make sure you hit up our website. Been updating the website as well, nolife.digital. You can check it out right here. Bada bing, bada boom. Yeah, the Lumix S1, we didn't really talk about that. It's super disappointing, but what are you going to do? It's a 4K 60 camera if you want that. That's about it.
What price point?
It's probably going to be in the $2,000, $2,200 range, maybe a little cheaper, depending
if it's just that, there's a lot of competition there.
Yeah. I mean, it's really nothing. If it came out with a flip-out screen like the GH5, like I was saying in that video,
yeah, that's what
I would have bought it.
Yeah.
I would have actually sold all of my Sony gear to buy it, but it doesn't have a flip-out screen.
That's kind of disappointing because that's always been the beauty of the GH5. It's $100,000 for a fantastic fucking camera with a flip-out screen.
It's the perfect camera for YouTube.
Yeah,
when you sit down and you talk to a camera, it's perfect for that.
That's why I've always backed it. Basically, it is.
Yeah, this was their full frame camera, but they fucked it up by didn't putting a flip out screen on it. So now there's no reason to really get it. It came out way too late. There's already the Sony that you can get cheap. You know, Canon and Nikon already released their stuff. Nikon's killing it with the Z series cameras. It's just little too late. The only thing it has for it is 4K 60 internal, but you know, they need to put a flip out screen on it. That would have been way better. But who knows? Maybe we'll get an S1S or something.
Yeah. Okay. I do have a question for you.
Yes.
While we're finishing this out, Assetto Corsa Competizione, Atomic Heart, Control from Remedy, Control, Enlisted, Justice, JX3, MechWarrior 5, Metro Exodus, Project DH, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Battlefield 5. That's what you're buying RTX for.
Yeah. You're buying it for Battlefield 5, like I said.
Yeah.
One game.
But those are the games that are also going to come out with it. Like maybe Metro Exodus. Metro is usually pretty good. The rest,
yeah, but who plays Metro? No one buys Metro. It's a benchmark.
DLSS. I played Metro. Metro's fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But DLSS, Arc.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, I mean, that you're starting off at least with a game that fucking needs optimizing.
We're also going to talk about Atlas next week, which should be fun.
Yeah.
That shithole.
It went about how I expected.
Exactly.
I'm sorry to anyone who was excited.
I didn't even know about it until like 2 days ago.
No, I didn't know about it until one of our mutual friends was really excited, and I like looked it up and just saw from the makers of Arc, and was just like, oh. Okay, yeah, have fun.
We're gonna talk about that next week.
I'm not touching it.
That's gonna be a fun convo.
Atomic Heart, Dauntless, Final Fantasy 15.
Oh wow, a new game.
Fractured Lands, Hitman 2, Islands of Nine, Justice, X3, MechWarrior 5. Noticing a trend here. PUBG. Because you want to play PUBG at 4K.
PUBG's getting DLSS. That's awesome.
Remnant, Serious Sam 4.
No, I don't want to play any
Shadow of the Tomb Raider, The Forge Arena, and We Happy Few. That's it for DLSS. DLSS.
I don't want to play any of those games.
I
do want to play Assetto Corsa.
Yeah, like that's the problem right now with all of these cards is the only cards that even announced that they're going to do anything with them, or the only games, that have announced they're going to do anything with them. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, and who even knows how they're going to implement them? Actually, the Battlefield was the only one. I mean, Battlefield did a good job.
No, Battlefield did a good job, and it seems sick.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how much money? The problem with all of these lists is I've yet to find a person who's even going to buy 2 of these games.
Right.
I know a lot of people will buy 1 of these games, or one of these games is really up their alley. I still have yet to hear anyone who's like, nah, dude, I'm super hyped for the PUBG and Final Fantasy 15 updates.
Dude, that's what I'm saying about just PC gaming in general.
Yeah.
It's like
true.
Kind of lame, you know.
So that is what
it's like. How long is an RTX, or how long is Nvidia even going to be relevant?
Yeah.
It's just like,
no, they'll be irrelevant.
I want God of War. I want Red Dead. I want those type of games, and they're just not coming to PC. Hopefully we get a Red Dead. Hopefully it comes with RTX. but I highly doubt it. I highly doubt
No,
any of
I
that.
expect Red Dead to come to the PC.
You think it'll have RTX?
I doubt it'll have RTX,
That would be sick, but
but I expect it to come to PC.
I hope
Same
so.
time, like a
I
lot
already
of,
played it. I don't want to. I'm not gonna play it a fucking year later.
that's your own fucking fault. No, I'm kidding.
I don't play old games.
No, I know. No, like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like, and I mean, even from, yeah, and you're right there too, where like me being the diehard PC kid, it's like,
The card you have now is 6 years old, and it's fine for the games that you play.
it's that, and it's like, or even some of the games like where it is starting to chug, and I want more. Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't want RTX in Total War, or like all of these stupid weird grand strategy things. I want as much power as possible, or else like a turn's gonna take 3 years.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the games I'm really interested in are huge strategy things like that, like those old school RTS Warcraft type games where it's like, I don't need him to be the super prettiest. I need it to be fast as shit.
Right.
So I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up because that's been the problem with RTX. That's why everyone was so pissed about it. Is who the fuck is gonna buy more than 2 of these games or even 1? And now you're asking.
And it's such a cool technology.
It is a cool technology.
It's just so dope.
It's
real-time ray tracing is insanity.
Yeah, but it's really not going to take off till probably the next gen, just due to power. But also, these games take 5 years to make, and if you didn't peg them, you didn't give them a sample 3 years ago, they're not going to have a game out.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're paying about $100 premium on it, about $100.
Yeah, for some of them, and then like the 2070 that makes no fucking sense. Now you're paying like a $200-$300 premium for one game, probably.
Yeah.
That's a lot to ask.
All right, let's get out of here. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.
Let's just hope it gets better.
It'll never get better.